What's up, guys? This is Brandon. Just wanted to put a little warning at the beginning of this episode. So, in case you can't already tell, we discussed the movie Requiem for a Dream in this episode, as well as the movie Little Man. And I can safely say we will probably be trying our best to avoid talking about films like Requiem for a Dream on Drunk Movie Talk, at least. The discussion is very good. It's a great discussion. I feel like people should have these discussions about film on this platform. That being said, for a show being called Drunk Movie Talk, I don't think it really fits because we get very heavy. We talk about very personal, real-life issues that we've all had that relate to some of the things that happen in Requiem for a Dream. So the first half of this episode, if you are one of the people who listens to this drunk and looks at it as a fun comedy-based podcast, which is something I'd like to make sure it continues being, maybe either skip the first half of this episode or just listen to the first half sober, unless you're totally fine with listening to serious heavy shit whilst trying to party, being under the influence. But yeah, so bit of a trigger warning for substance abuse and stuff like that. As for our discussion on Little Man, at all costs, get as fucked up as you fucking can.
We are workaholics, we are diabolic, drinking up liquid dough until we vomit. Put us in your pocket, maybe while you walk it. We're gonna watch movies and then we'll talk it.
Hello, welcome to Drunk Movie Talk. I'm Brandon.
I'm Michael.
I'm Danny.
And today we're actually going to be starting a new series in Drunk Movie Talk called Highs and Lows, where basically we're going to take an actor or a director or just something, and we're going to look at their best work and their worst work, or something around those areas.
And this actor we're doing today has critically acclaimed actor, hundreds of movies under his belt. Probably he deep dives into so many movies and takes on race as a new concept. Race and sexuality.
You could certainly say that. This person is Marlon Wayans. So, so we're basically going to be looking at Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream, which is his high, which is funny because he gets high. And his low, which is also funny because he's Little Man. We're doing Little Man, literally highs and lows.
We picked the best movies for the first episode of Highs and Lows.
Brandon picked the best one, yeah. None of us wanted to watch Little Man. It was never my favorite movie. I've seen it. I'd seen it before.
So, yeah.
I rented it. I had to pay money to watch it.
I didn't.
What's funny?
I ripped it. I found a horrible rip of it on YouTube.
Was it a theater or TV?
No. So I guess someone owned it, but what happened is it would play it and then zoom in at random parts of the screen to get out
I think
copyright.
no one would argue against that being a fine way to watch
Absolutely.
Little Man.
You understand just as much as watching the original film as this edited version. It's exactly the same.
So today I wanted to buy water from a vending machine. I put the money in, but they only had sodas, and I didn't want to change. I got the soda anyway. I was angry, but the buying Little Man, renting Little Man was the worst use of my money. It was only $4. I'm still pissed off.
Wow, so
Brandon bought it
wait.
twice.
I want to lead into that.
You bought it twice.
Let me lead into that, actually. I watched this movie when I was younger, and, as a young kid, and I fucking loved it. It was, one of my favorite movies as a child, and, so much of it went over my head, and it's, watching it now, I almost feel like I was, molested somehow, passive-aggressively, through this movie.
A little bit.
I can see it.
But your, heart was actually the thing molested.
Yeah,
so,
your heart.
Before we get into Little Man, actually, we need to do our drinks. So we actually kind of had trouble figuring out what to drink for this episode.
They don't actually drink in any of these movies, really. They have, wine and, a Requiem for a Dream. That's, kind of it. So what we have is, we got a bunch of little shooters. So these would be regular size in Marlon Wayans' hands in any of the movies. Either movie. He has very tiny hands. Very tiny hands, gigantic feet. Big ears.
Big ears,
okay,
big feet.
So I in one hand have SoCo and I have Fireball. What do you have?
Fireball and Fireball.
Oh, God. I don't know which one I want to fucking do first. I never drink these.
Yeah,
these are the
shooters are never the approach I go.
They don't make shooters of bullet bourbon or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's these and 99 bananas and 99 cinnamon.
Yeah, so that's what we're drinking. So I guess we should do our ritual. So, Danny, you're going to be doing 2 shots from now on, right?
Yeah, I am. It's taking a toll.
Oh my god, it is.
Yeah, so like the first, I guess technically 3 episodes because we split our first recording into 2. But the first 2 recordings we did, we saw Danny become a whole different person. He became a monster.
It was.
It made for some damn good radio, but we're people too.
I listened to him and I get pissed off at myself because I was like, Danny, that's like
I think it was funny as fuck.
It was funny for us sitting here.
I used to show up at parties, drink slightly and get a little high, and then the party would start and I'd be passed out already.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, well, to be fair, you drank a ton. You were drinking those shot glasses. It wasn't a double shot
It was
glass.
a third more.
Yeah,
But I made Brandon do the science.
and you were doing, and I do half shots for it technically. So it's
So I probably drank 2/3 of a bottle, half bottle.
It's really funny when
more than half actually, because I didn't drink a ton of liquor both those nights. I kind of stuck mostly to beers, and we finished those fucking bottles together.
Yeah.
the Crown
I did
Royal
shots.
apple that
I
we
did.
got for
I did
Death Note. I took a picture at the end of the recording. You modeled because you were so drunk for me. You held it
forgot
up.
that.
Because I want
my
to take a picture to
God.
show my boyfriend, look how fucking drunk
You should have told me so I could have put that in the
I
episode.
should've,
I'll
yeah.
put it in this episode
If
now.
I
It's
have
on the
it, yeah.
screen if you're watching
Everything
it
you
on
hear
YouTube.
this podcast is a fantasy, and no Ray reacts to actual reality.
Yeah.
More or less.
But I was just going to take a picture and be like, look how fucking wasted they are. And you're like, no, get my good side. And you held it up. You had me take
I
a
have a
picture.
good side. Yeah.
It was
Show me
very
your
funny.
sides. Okay.
Maybe
the right.
it's just me.
It's the right. When the hair sweeps, it's the right. Yeah. That's your
don't know.
profile picture.
Anyway, so we're gonna be drinking these shooters now. So time cue the royalty-free rock song, and Michael, you do some commentary, do some improv, say something wacky.
Okay.
You're expecting too much from me. I can't think of anything but when I watch
Fireball's
those
actually
shows.
smooth now. I got fucking wasted last night. I got tucked into a bottle of Bullet and Tito's. I was drinking both.
Yeah.
Bullet and Tito's because Tito's was on sale.
I don't
Just
know.
to get
I kinda
through
like Fireball.
Little Man. I knew I couldn't get
Yeah.
through Little Man
Yeah.
if I was fucking sober.
It's understandable.
As I was watching Little Man, I was like, this could make me an alcoholic.
Yeah, it almost kicked you off the wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost set me off. I was like,
I watched Little Man, and apparently I became a goth a day later. So
Yeah,
Say
he's
something.
a goth.
Died inside again. That's hard. That's fucking hardcore goth
He's wearing
shit.
a Muse shirt, just
He wasn't
pierced
even
his
that
ear.
goth. Okay, so I dyed my hair green, and I pierced my ears. I'm wearing some
My
like,
parents
eyeliner.
don't understand.
I want to
They
get
never
eyeliner and learn
It's
how
just
to
a
do it.
phase, Dad. Anyway,
I don't want your life, Dad.
sounded like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Coming week 54.
Oh, I forgot to mention, because you keep saying you forget you've pierced your ear. Nathan and I have sex, he bites my ears, but he always forgets this one is pierced, so sometimes he accidentally bites the earring.
You can get him a fake ear. You can get him cat ears.
I remember, I was with this girl once, and she had a bunch of ear piercings, and she loved it when I would bite and lick on her ear.
And you'd just be like,
I mean, I don't feel
I was
anything when
into
it's
it.
on the earring, but I know it stabs him. Because
like
it stabs
it would
me
sound like this
sometimes.
against your teeth.
Yeah. Oh, I can definitely hear it.
Rough.
It's very funny.
Shot
And
2.
then one of them, he loses one of them. He just swallows
Wait,
it.
let me drink some water first.
Shot number 2.
Your last shot. Okay.
Well, I only have one ear pierced, so for the other ear, you don't gotta worry about it.
It's like heat in the moment, he forgets which one.
Sometimes, yeah.
Boop, boop, boop.
Oops, I accidentally stabbed my tongue on your earring.
See doodle?
That was a fascinating burp I did.
I didn't know that was a burp. I thought you were just making a noise.
It was like Muscle Man. You seen regular show?
No, but I've heard a lot of impressions. My boyfriend told
Fireball's
me about
a girl's drink.
it. My sister drinks Fireball.
That perfectly explains why I love Fireball then. So.
It's very light, very easy, and the cinnamon, it's like, there's no
Oh,
whiskey
it's
taste.
cinnamon?
Oh yeah, that's what they start off with, cinnamon whiskey.
So you're not doing a third shot, right?
That can be fucking good shot.
Okay. Okay. Shot 3.
Shot 3.
You know, if you want to chug something and not get the glue, if you put a straw in it, you can just knock it back.
I like the glug glug glows.
It does help.
Makes it fun. Okay, now we can really start talking about... Actually, no, fuck. We're supposed to talk about Requiem for a Dream first.
We're talking about Requiem for a Dream first?
Yeah.
When are they releasing a 4K cut?
They did already.
Wow.
We just watched the 4K version.
Oh, this came out like last year.
Well, the movie came out in the year 2000.
Oh, yeah, I know. But I'm saying, like, this 4K
The 4K cut came out, like, it's not a different edit of the movie. It's just, remastered.
Let me switch to my other very short page of notes for Requiem of a Dream.
Wait, which one are you doing first?
We're doing Requiem for a Dream first.
Okay, highs and then lows.
Yeah.
We want to be fucked up
exactly.
to be able to talk about Little Man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, opening...
Miller
High Life. Okay. But before we talk about both of them, I want to show both trailers back to back.
High Life for highs and lows.
Oh, there we go.
Then I gotta say, Steel Reserve is like also a low, so I got that too.
Okay, so it's perfect. We have to drink both of those each time.
8.1% alcohol. That always surprises me. Oh.
So anyway, so before we talk about both movies, I want to show both trailers side by side, just to let you guys know the difference between highs and lows.
Purple in the morning, blue in the afternoon, orange in the evening. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Somebody like you can really make things all right for me.
You know what we need to do? We need to get us a piece of this Brody shit, cut it up, and off it.
Double our money, easy.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. No hassle. You just watch my back, and I'll watch yours.
On our way, baby. On our way. Hey, Ma, you want uppers?
You don't know. I'm going to be on television.
Gotta win.
I'm somebody now, Harry. Everybody likes me. It's a reason to smile.
Let's do this right, man. All I'm saying is we should take a little taste so we know how much to cut. It's business.
Fair enough.
Getting the money is not the problem, Harry. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to get it.
This is our last chance to get back on track.
You promised me that everything was gonna be okay, remember?
I'm going to be on television.
When you coming home?
Soon.
Harry, can you come today?
I'm coming back, Marion.
In the world of crime, there's no one bigger than Calvin Sims.
Stupid! You got a boot on the car and you about to get one in your butt. Sorry, Cal.
Now, he's back in action and going for the score of a lifetime.
That's what I'm talking about.
But something is about to go
The Queen's diamond, it's gone!
terribly wrong. And to finish the job,
Got the diamond? I had to ditch it. Now what? We go get it.
he'll have to hide out
I got a plan, yo. Go get it.
in someone else's crib.
Honey.
Look, oh my God, it's a baby.
Cuckoo keke.
Baby, baby!
From director Keenan Ivory Wayans.
He's adorable in a National Geographic sort of way.
And the guys who brought you White Chicks.
I know just what to fix you for you to have a good night's sleep. Mmm. Creamy.
You're drinking breast milk.
Comes a special bundle of joy.
I'm gonna show you how great it is to have a dad, and you're gonna show me what it's like to be a dad. Hey, yo, Percy, it's me. Cal, you get the diamond? No, not yet. I'm in timeout.
He'll be going
Open up.
Daryl, what are you doing? That's a rectal thermometer.
where no little man has gone before. Marlon Wayans.
You want to play a game of peekaboo, huh? Okay. Peekaboo, I see you. Peekaboo, I see you.
Sean Wayans.
Good morning.
You were an animal last night. You've never done that before.
Little Man.
One for you, and one for the baby. Just sworn he just stuck his tongue in my mouth.
Okay. Redo.
We're stupid.
I'm stupid. This is my fault.
He's stupid. It's not my fault.
I
You
fucked up somehow, and anyway, like the last like 2 minutes of recording, and we like gave like our like introduction thesis statement thoughts on Requiem for a Dream. We all had some pretty heavy shit to say about
So
it.
now we have to do it
so
again.
we're gonna do it again, and it's like inevitably gonna be less good now. I'm just glad we caught it like that quickly.
Immediately, yeah.
Shooting over to Mikhail.
Yeah.
Thesis
so,
statement?
Thesis statement. This movie is really intense, and as someone who's had a family member go through like alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and
Me
a
too.
bunch of fucked up shit, it like obviously like I don't do drugs, I don't drink, so I see all this from an outside perspective, but it reminded me a lot of the experiences I've been through with these people. They're pouring drinks as I'm trying.
I'm not pouring
Sorry,
a drink,
sorry,
I'm opening a drink.
Brandon's fucking up.
Yeah.
We're trading 40s. I'm listening
Put
to
your
you.
caps on shit.
You should put your
Yeah, you
caps
should.
on shit.
We spill a lot of stuff. So,
Especially when you're drunk.
yeah,
I don't
you've
know
never
where the
really
cap
been
is.
inside
Anyway.
the hive.
Yeah. So I only get to see the outside, and I think this movie shows a lot of the inside and of the outside. So it was interesting for me and relatable. I lost caps.
Under your foot. Next to your foot.
Oh my god. It's down there. I'm looking at it,
Can't-
Brandon.
Okay, well, it was like right out of my line of sight. Here we go.
So this
Sorry,
is a- this is a
Michael.
flash-
Do you want to go again?
No, it's funny.
Because,
This is a flash of the past for you, huh?
Yeah, it's I want to talk about that when we get to other scenes, but thesis amazing, hard to sit through some parts, but it's very good.
So it was real for you.
It was.
yeah, no. For me too. I also have family members who have struggled with substance abuse. As far as like my experience with drug use, I don't have much. You know, I've smoked weed in the past. I don't anymore. So it's very much I have an outside view because it's not really. There is some weed smoking in the movie, but it's not really what it's talking about.
Yeah.
That being said, so as I already mentioned to you guys the first time we recorded this, a few months ago, like right at the beginning of the year, I kind of went on a movie binge where I was trying to watch through like a lot of like critically acclaimed like classic movies that I hadn't seen before, just so I could mark them off and like just so I could like basically experience that side of cinema. And this was definitely one of those movies I've always wanted to see and just never gotten around to. And and we mentioned while we watched the movie that it's not technically a horror movie. That being said, it might be like the scariest movie I've ever seen. But anyway,
I googled it while we were watching it because I wanted to see if I could find reviews.
yeah.
So how did you feel the first time you watched it?
Oh my god! I mean, the movies and like I'm saying this sincerely. It was a life-changing movie. It really was. Like when you sit there and you watch it, because like I said, it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. There's not another movie where the first time I watched it, like towards the latter half of the movie, I was literally hugging onto a pillow, and there were several moments where I screamed into my pillow watching the movie. Like that was genuinely how I was reacting.
And while we were watching it this time, when Brandon and I watch movies together, we talk. And in this movie, we still were talking, but there's
not
so many
nearly
times...
as much. And
there's a lot of shock in the air.
A lot of it was like directly. Like, it was just us reacting to, like, what the movie was doing.
We only cracked a couple jokes.
But,
only a few. To help lighten the mood, because we were so uncomfortable watching it.
This movie has a reputation of being, like, a movie that, like, many people, like, oh, I watched it, that was great, but I'm never watching it again. This was my third time watching it in the past, like, few months.
My second time.
Not to take away
Michael,
from that.
Yeah, Michael and I, we just watched it for, like, it was your second time, my third time, and it was because
That is
Dan
exactly how
hadn't
I felt about Little Man.
That's not about Little Man. I don't get
but
it as much for this movie. Like,
Very heavy movie, but yeah, it quickly has become one of my all-time favorites, and I'm on the same boat as you in that, like, it's a movie I'm very inspired by it on a filmmaking level. Like, I haven't seen any other Darren Aronofsky movies, and I really fucking want to. He's known as being one of the better directors out there.
We did mention the editing while we were watching it, and I didn't say this then, but I was thinking, like, you remember how the beginning of Nobody, how it's kind of edited in that way? And this movie seems like a much better evolution of that type
I think
of
Nobody was more trying to do like an Edgar Wright type thing, which is in the similar vein. This movie does it to provoke a sense of disorientation.
It accomplishes that very well.
Absolutely. But anyway, I'm going far beyond my basic thesis statement thoughts. Like that, and that's a testament to how much I fucking adore this movie. So Danny, you go.
This is going to be a little bit different than the first time, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, and you guys have said stuff too, I'm the person who's had substance abuse problems. A lot of times I'd be spun out like the mom in this movie, and I'd be like completely wired for like 3 days, and then like I'd come out of it just like heaving over my toilet trying to throw up. So I also have a lot of people I've lost to these types of drugs in Requiem for a Dream, and it gets hardcore. But seeing this and understanding that it is a display to scare people, like you said, it's a horror movie. It's a horror movie for the just say no agenda, and I get that because some people think it's casual.
Only the movie,
to do heroin.
Yeah, but the movie like very smartly, like it doesn't come off preachy like that. The movie never feels like
in
a
my
public
life.
Service announcement.
I've heard the phrase, "Oh, I've only smoked heroin. I've never shot it," as like a way to justify doing it. It's like you will lose your life, your friends, and your family without even a blink of an eye. It happens faster than that.
Yeah.
So this movie was one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. I love the mom. The mom had an amazing fucking monologue. I felt it.
She's so
it
good.
kicked.
Oh my god.
And like, they cast us so well.
I
even Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans wasn't
Marlon
like
Wayans was
he was
really
good in this movie.
He wasn't comedic relief. Like I feel like they cut out his comedy, and this is what we got.
Yeah.
You know, most comedic actors. You know what? I disagree. I don't think he had bits in the movie. I think
that's why he was hired.
Like
so I
Darren
looked it
Aronofsky,
up because I was reading. I wanted to read reviews of specifically his performance because we're doing a highs and lows of him. And the article I read said that they originally wanted, I'm blanking on his name, but different...
Mos Def?
No. A different black comedian to do this role, and he turned it down, and then...
I want to know. Look it up really quick.
Different black comedian. Okay. Before he looks it up, what would your guess be?
Oh my god, my guess? Fuck,
Dave Chappelle.
It was Dave Chappelle!
Oh my god! First guess. I was gonna say Sinbad.
Dave Chappelle wouldn't have fucking done that. There's no fucking way. I mean, he has the chops, but like, Dave Chappelle...
I don't know if it would have worked as well.
He likes to make people happy, and he does that with all this work.
Movie is not designed to make people
Let me scroll
happy.
to the part of the article where it says it.
Wow.
Dave Chappelle!
Wow.
You were absolutely right. So, this is a Screen Rant article, but it says...
They wanted a skinny, gaunt, drug-addicted-looking black man, and Dave Chappelle had too much pride.
So the role was initially offered to comedian Dave Chappelle, who rejected it. For Wayans, he had read the original novel 3 times and auditioned 5 times before he got the role.
I didn't know that. Oh my god!
So in the auditions, they're having to tell Marlon Wayans like, okay, you enter the room.
None of that little man
go,
shit.
Cha cha cha, cha cha cha.
Wow, I didn't.
6 years before Little Man, he was doing this.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's like I wanted
really
to.
Passionate about.
I didn't know that. That's fucking awesome.
He needs better roles. He's actually a very good actor.
I wanted to
yes.
Let's go. Go ahead.
Yeah. So most comedic actors are actually I think are just like really great actors in general. Like, there's obviously exceptions out there, but because to pull off comedy is a difficult task, you know, and it requires a lot of genuine talent. And Marlon Wayans, I don't find him to be a particularly funny comedian. He's landed some jokes in certain movies that have made me laugh. I
think Little Man is the first one of his movies, like comedic movies I've been able to sit through.
Yeah, we tried to watch A Haunted House.
Brandon, jerk me off for a second. Am I a comedic actor?
Well, you're trying to be an actor. You have some really great comment. Danny, I want to say for the record, you're a fucking awesome actor. You're
We gotta reshoot one of my scenes.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if we need to reshoot that scene.
I would do it too.
I kind of want to.
But back to you.
Anyway, so like as far as Marlon Wayans goes, it seems like he genuinely, him and like his brothers, like the Wayans brothers, like they seem to like actually just want to make like mostly just these like dumb funny comedies. And like anytime I'm watching one of their movies, as lazy as they might seem, like a lot of it like seems like okay, they actually wanted to make this, and I can respect that, and that's fine. They're very successful people. Like they're just making mostly fucking terrible movies. That's just my
built
opinion.
an empire. Okay, so
they have their fan base.
I think by this point we're at the grandbaby Wayans acting. I think at this point, I'm not sure. We have to double check, but like their entire family has a livelihood because they've been working at this. So when people say Little Man's a shit movie, like yeah, it's a shit movie, but it paid for people's mortgages and it put children through college.
We'll talk about this when we talk about Little Man, but it comes off as like a movie they wanted to do. Like it doesn't come off as like
Requiem for a Dream.
We'll talk about Requiem for a Dream. Like and clearly he wanted to be a part of this, but
according to the article I found,
I'm not going to criticize like Marlon Wayans' career choices.
Literally, as we were watching
he's a person. He's doing
this is the best choice he ever made.
I think so, yeah.
And he clearly is like a fan of the source material. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I'm glad you brought that up because it's something I would have loved to know.
Dave Chappelle couldn't have done it. Dave Chappelle,
I wouldn't have bought it as well. Yeah.
He is a very sincere comedian, but he can't. I don't know. He doesn't pull that.
I wouldn't have bought Dave Chappelle standing next to Jared Leto.
Depression. To be a comedian, you have this like duality of like depression and like hyper intense joy.
Yeah.
And it is gonna drive you fucking whack.
Comedy's about like trying to balance those two things because you can't have only the high joyous
Marlon
stuff.
Wayans has done this and has kept his composure, has not gotten into cocaine, drinking, hitting women, and he has made himself
He seems like a genuinely great dude, and like no matter what we're gonna say about Little Man, like I respect the fuck out of Marlon Wayans.
He's a pillar of his own community.
Yeah.
He's an idol for African American children.
I was saying that it's like his movies may be terrible, but they are like
they're sincere.
They're sincere, and they have a lot of the African American culture that I, as a white person, don't fucking understand and never will. So it's like, they suck.
I fuck with Medea. I've never seen Tyler Perry. Most of Tyler Perry's movies are fucking amazing. I've seen a lot of them.
Wow,
I've seen some of them.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, and
I've never seen them, but those are known to be not the highest of. But they have their audience, which you're a part of. But I really want to. I think we're getting a little.
Yeah, go back to Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah. So I know I've shown you the movie, but there's an anime film called Perfect Blue that's by the director Satoshi Kon. The director of Requiem for a Dream, Darren Aronofsky, is a huge fan of Satoshi Kon, and he actually purchased the rights to Perfect Blue to recreate one of the scenes from that movie verbatim in this movie. And it's the shot. Well, it's two shots really. It's the scene where Jennifer Connelly's character is in the tub face down and she screams inside the water. And it's very effective. Many people say his film Black Swan, which I haven't seen, is in that. Yeah, I really want to see it. Is in many ways
51.
51 Black Swan. Okay, I'm starting to lose track. But many people say that that's in many ways Black Swan's like a remake of Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue, I want to say for the record, like might actually be like my favorite horror movie. It's and when you compare both of them filmmaking wise, like they're very similar. Like both of these movies.
So let me ask you real quick: was the stage scene where she goes to hang out with Keith David also from Perfect Blue?
No, that wasn't in Perfect Blue.
Okay.
Although they are kind of similar though, because there's the scene in Perfect Blue where like the actress. The main girl, like she does like the gang rape scene.
That's the death of innocence. That's the death of it.
Yeah, very much so. And they both kind of have these parallels in that the main characters are losing parts of themselves to kind of like live this lifestyle, and like they just keep on chopping off like elements of their personalities. Many of like the editing like aspects are very similar. Like I can see the clear inspiration from it, and it just makes me love this movie.
Did you have to pay for the rights?
He bought the rights.
Wow.
That's certification.
Him and Satoshi Kon were friends, and when Satoshi Kon died, like, Darren Aronofsky eulogized him at his funeral and stuff like that.
Here's my impression of Darren Aronofsky at his funeral. Man, we did so much, like, assing, like, just put girls ass to ass all the time. I fucking love you, Satoshi Kon. I love you, Satoshi Kon. If I'm up in the pearly gates and you're there fucking a girl, I'm gonna tag team the shit out of her. That's impression.
We're gonna be saying ass to ass for the rest of our goddamn lives because of this movie.
Ass to ass.
What the fuck was that?
That was his impression, don't you remember?
I know you were, but like, what voice was that?
Okay, here's my second one. Ass to ass.
It sounded like Macho Man Randy Savage.
So when we were watching the
like
the
when I get really drunk,
it's more ass to ass. It's more like that.
When I get really
love
drunk,
your take
I
on
turn
it.
into Randy Savage.
That's like you always turn into Randy Savage.
Every single time you turn to Randy Savage.
That's your go-to, like, that's your base, that's the basis for all your impressions. Is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Everyone can do Macho Man.
Everyone has an impression of Macho Man Randy Savage. Whether
So I fucking love
Michael, Macho Man Randy Savage.
I barely know who he
I've
is.
never gotten you to do an impression before.
Because I can't do
Well, he doesn't.
I want to hear you try.
He doesn't give a shit about wrestling. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit about wrestling.
I'm in a Macho Man because like he was coked out during most of the
Bonesaw
movies.
from Spider-Man 1. That's Macho Man.
Bonesaw's ready. I know that one.
Alright, brother. I got 2 minutes with you. You're gonna get down there and feel the bones.
You got 3 minutes. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
You're not doing it right. It's more like you've done coke for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done coke for 10 years.
I go as low
It's a
as
nasal thing.
physically
I've done
can.
coke for 11 years.
Listen here, brothers.
So I mentioned the Satoshi Kon parallels. In general, like some of my overall thoughts. I love the movie's use of paneling and scenes where it does split screen effects and like I forget the name of this movie. There's a movie called like The Longest Yard or something like that.
Which one?
It's like a baseball movie, I think.
Football
movie.
Burt Reynolds he starred in the first one.
Is that
is
it from like the 70s?
Yes. Then he reprised his role for Adam Sandler's reboot.
Okay, and then, but like that movie has a lot of uses. I've never seen the movie, but it kind of inspired this filmmaking technique where they use like they panel the shots where you like see things happening in the corner. That
You know,
see
you know which actress was in it for 5 minutes? She has a name that sounds like penis. Guess.
Weenus.
Her last name sounds like a dick.
I have no clue.
Courtney Cox.
Oh.
I would never have
For
gotten
5 fucking seconds. Really.
I like Brian Cox. He's a good actor.
That's Pornhub if you're searching for it.
But anyway, so
The
that
editing
and
is
like
amazing.
and I don't know if Requiem for a Dream was directly inspired by that. I just know that movie inspired lots of films and inspired the show Samurai Jack, one of my favorite shows.
Which show? Which
Samurai Jack.
Yeah, and they directly the longest yard, and I love the concept of taking something in a completely separate genre.
The Longest Yard.
No, how did that inspire Samurai Jack?
The paneling effect of like having like a different shot showing, and the creators directly reference that. And I love the concept of taking
what? Back to the past.
Gotta
Samurai
get
Jack.
back.
Gotta get back.
Gotta get back to the past, Samurai
So
Jack.
that's interesting. I can almost see that. I can see that. I maybe need to take a look at it.
And I'm thinking maybe that was the case with Requiem for a Dream too. But like, regardless, like this movie is like an editor's dream. Like, I was a professional editor for a little over a year. I worked for the news, and aside from that, I've been doing video editing like since I was like 10. Like, so me watching this movie, like, there's so many things that appeal specifically to me and what I look for out of filmmaking that really just made, like, the entire movie's as miserable as some of it is to watch and as, like, hard and heavy it is, like, it's a cinematic orgasm in many ways for me.
Miserable.
It is.
Yeah, but we mentioned Ellen Burstyn earlier, plays the mom of the movie.
Jeez.
She gives one of the best performances, like, I've ever seen. It's a very, you get like this very real, this like really tragic transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, you know, that monologue scene where she like just goes into,
When she's first
like this,
on the
like
stage.
because she's clearly unhappy with her position and like she's financially struggling. Like her son's like she keeps on like pawning her shit.
I don't honestly think she was financially struggling.
You
I don't
think
get
so?
financial struggle.
No.
I get lady on.
Her husband died, and she had a pension.
She's getting Social Security or pension or something like that.
She never personally worked, and she always had food in the house.
Yeah,
and her rent was always paid for. What her son was a junkie, and she stopped feeding his habit.
Right.
That was the first scene we see her.
But she
and
is
it almost seems
still
like a B
kind of
character.
feeding the
She's
habit.
giving in still, but regardless, all I'm saying is like she's in this like shitty position in life where she's not. She feels like she has no worth and that she has no purpose anymore. And just like getting this phone call about like her possibly being on this like this really shitty like TV show, like this talk show, that
self-help.
Yeah, it's like a self-help
It reminded
thing.
me of. I said this after, like,
But I
when
love
I
Chris
first
McDonald
watched it,
in this movie. It's
especially
so funny.
The credits, they have the show playing. I thought it was going to be like an evangelical mega church. And it's still, throughout the movie, even though that's not it has those vibes of this, like...
She never got deep enough into the... Like,
it was Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah, so the self-help guru.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't really a lot of religion involved because it was like... It didn't make sense to me. It was like one a diet show, one a self-help show. Then she kept calling herself a contestant when she
on
wanted
like
to
a
be on
game
it.
show and win prizes.
Exactly. Yeah. What would she win? Like
I think it's more
not
like
having
a
fat ass.
metaphor.
I'm not sure exactly, but regardless, she's like in this position, like, and like this TV show is like the only thing that she has to like, and she mentions like because at this point she gets to be seen as a good person, like as this like image that she's created for herself by the world, and this is another big Perfect Blue similarity. Like, and like we keep on seeing her like fall deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole of like that becomes her sole obsession is like seeking that, and then like the scene where she sees that version of herself in the TV, and then they come out and they interact with her. That scene reeks of like Perfect Blue, in the best possible ways.
That scene reminded me so much of the person in my life who did drugs for a while. We have an older picture of me and this family member hanging up. I absolutely hate this picture because when I look at them, all I see is they are on meth. I can visibly see it.
You've mentioned this before.
They look at that picture and go, look how skinny I was back then. Look how great I looked. And it affects me down to my soul because I remember how bad things were. And they're looking back on that picture going, remember when I was, like, I looked good then. I'm like, what are you talking about? You look terrible.
That's an older person reacting to those drugs. I met a younger woman, and she was a big part of my life, who lost herself to crack. And then when she came back and was trying to get clean, she was obsessed with like hot girl summer. Mm-hmm. All she wanted to do was take selfies and like get pictures of herself because like she thought she was looking good, and it was just like that just like ruined her even more.
Yeah,
it's this delusion that you look like really great right now.
It's creating a fake image for
yourself. It is, but like watching the whole diet part of this, it hit that so hard because I'm remembering this person in my life going, I wish I was still that skinny. And I'm like, I am so glad you aren't anymore.
I hated that part of you.
That was like the worst time in my life when you were like that. And you, even just a small aspect of it, your weight, going back and wishing for that, it's bad for me.
So
I'm going to go home and take that picture down.
We'll
Jesus
tell this
Christ.
right now.
You should.
The mom in this movie was taking diet pills, which we all know diet pills are basically just fucking speed, but with like an FDA approval.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that. So I've met people who are on meth and like their family just like deals with them. And it's like, that's just like uncle whatever. And it's hard.
Paranoia
people don't do interventions.
Yeah, a lot of people on a certain like half of my family like have specifically struggled like with using like pills and stuff like that. I have a lot of like I'll be open and honest. I have like a lot of like traumatic childhood memories of like being in like specific situations where I was kind of placed in harm because of like certain people abusing certain substances. And so I grew up seeing like a lot of the effects of like, you know, that this movie shows. So it speaks to me on a personal level too. But even aside from that, like I don't think you have to necessarily relate to what the movie's saying to enjoy it. I think this movie works like if you connect to that and if you like find parallels to it like in your personal life, it's bound to have like a more Like,
Well, I think the
interesting
mother's story is very
experience for
important
you?
because that is honestly like a problem with modern society is that a lot of, especially women, but this also affects men, are always so focused with like losing weight. That's a big thing. I've noticed in my friends, and it's something as like I've never grown up with that like weight mindset somehow, but I know a lot of people who have.
Right.
And it's so, like, sad to see it. Because I remember, this is a dumbass fucking show, but, like, one of the Kardashians had this, like, revenge weight loss show.
Yeah.
And they watched, they like, put it on, we were watching an episode or two,
So
and they're like,
toxic.
oh, I wish I could do this, it's so cool. And I was sitting there like, what? Because the whole point of the show is someone broke up with you, maybe related to, maybe not related to the fact that this person is overweight. And then the whole point of the show is to, like, get in shape and make them jealous that you're skinny now. And I was just sitting there going like, what the fuck is this? Why is this on TV? Why are we letting this happen? It's so, like, disgusting. So I think, like, having the mother, you see her before she's addicted, and it's the kind of normal thing a lot of people go through of like, oh, I want to be skinny again. I want to fit into that old dress. And then you see how
it's directly connected, like
normal
to her weight.
Can get stuck in this cycle.
Yeah, and it's not just about like the weight loss element, although that is it's a part of like the age element stuff like that, and it's very much about like how people depict like what like this perfect version of themselves would be, and if that doesn't fall into being like fit and being like this like attractive by normal like standards like sort of persona. Then, like, a lot of people, they just beat themselves up over it, and they, like, just get, like, super aggressive. They micromanage themselves. It's insane. But as much as this movie is discussing stuff like that, what makes it work is that it is focused on being, like, a good movie, like, first and foremost. Like, while it discusses these themes, it doesn't hit you over the head with it necessarily.
It's subtle.
It just well, I mean,
that's the thing with drug
it's
abuse.
subtle, but it's at the same time, it's so much of the movie is so fucking insane, and I don't want to say over the top because it's just fucking real. The movie's just the movie is real as fuck.
It's like there's the whole part where like they get arrested in the hospital at the end. Danny and I, we were like true crime nerds, so we were like sitting and talking about like how fucked up the justice system is.
Like flat out, that would be something you could sue over.
You could sue over that.
My arm is gangrene. You guys haven't fucking gotten me in help. I want to say this before we move on just a little bit. I have personal experience. I don't really tell people about this with accidentally doing meth. South Tucson is not a great place to buy any drug in general.
Yeah.
You will be sold other shit. So, like, one of my friends I grew up with started selling a little bit of blow. And when I'm, like, cracking that shit up, I find a shard. A fucking shard of meth in it. And this fucking worthless piece of shit was selling that to people without them knowing. And in that situation, like, it's your fucking fault. It was my fucking fault. I bought shit on the fucking street. No cocaine will ever be safe. It's gonna have fentanyl. It's gonna have whatever. Don't fucking do that shit. Don't buy fucking street drugs. Street drugs will fucking kill you, and that is what this movie is about. 4 different stories about how drugs ruin people's lives.
Yeah. And all in different
crossing
ways.
generations as well.
Exactly. Because the mom didn't know she was doing fucking speed.
She didn't know.
She was doing medical grade speed in 2000. That was a huge problem at the time. People didn't realize what they were doing to themselves. To get skinny, to get fit,
Yeah,
to
and
get
that's like the
fuckable.
That's why we have an opioid crisis. Is because for a long time because for a little bit like opioids weren't researched enough, so we didn't know a lot of things. But because I watched the whole thing on it, it was very interesting. But pain for a long time and still now is very underdiagnosed. Like doctors don't like to believe people are in pain sometimes for no good reason. So they had a large pushback when opioids came out, saying like people need some sort of pain relief. But they pushed too far, and too many people were given opioids who didn't need it. And that's kind of what this movie shows, is that, you go in for a problem, and they would go in and prescribe you something that you don't need. And then you'd get hooked on it, and your life would become... your life is ruined because the doctor didn't fully understand what they were doing, or they were negligent on purpose, and it's just this whole, fucked up situation,
It's like, fuck you for being high.
Yeah. And then
life.
you turn around and you're like, a doctor gave me these drugs and now I'm addicted. And it's like, well, fuck you, you're on drugs. Like, what the fuck?
Also, that doctor sucked. His office sucked.
Yeah, but like that's honestly like the medical field also has tons of problems in it.
Yeah, and this movie, like it's the perfect type of movie that like discusses these like heavy themes like about drug abuse and also about like how the government responds to drug abuse in all these horrible ways. But again, it never hits you over the head with it. It just shows it. Like it's like where so many of these things fall flat is they feel like the audience won't see what they're trying to tell, like, and like so they'll just like blatantly say.
Yeah, they always have like a character say the fucking dumbass PSA lines.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We don't need that.
And again, this is a very basic like screenwriting tip that I've talked about before on the shows. The show don't tell rule, but it's a really fucking important thing, and it's like that's when your script like becomes lazy is when you fall into that. This movie shows everything in the most creative of ways too, like provoking like the disorienting sense of the drug abuse and stuff like that. I'm going to transition to talking about that a bit more. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about what you were
going on about opioids? I just want to say the editing of this movie is also really good.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
So yeah, go on.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, this movie's an editor's dream. Everything from like the paneling to like the quick cut editing to the use of the sound design in the movie like cannot go unnoted. And I don't know if like how many I don't think this movie got many like serious nominations for anything.
It deserved them, which
is fucking insane to me. Like you know. Not that like Academy nominations like really mean shit because they don't, and the Oscars fucking suck. That's a topic for another time. But the use of sound design, this movie, while it's not a horror movie, it gets under my skin like more than I think any other movie really has, and a big part of that is the sound. Like every time they do the sequences of them doing drugs, and you get the quick cuts with like all the sound effects and everything. Like like every sound like it. It's like it's at this like frequency that just like it bleeds into your ears and it just fucking stabs you.
I'm gonna give this to you. It is a horror movie.
I think thrillers count as horror movies in my personal opinion. I think they are horror movies.
Yeah,
like, when I say I like horror, I mean I like thrillers.
If this is not considered a horror movie, it's still scarier than most horror movies that exist. But aside from the sound design, this movie has one of my favorite scores like ever in a movie, and some of it's like a little dated now just because of the fact that I forget the name of the main theme of this movie, but it's an older song that has like since been used like comically overused in like fan trailers. You're talking
about the Mad Men one. No, I'm joking.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What I was going to say back with the editing was for the sequences, especially with the mother when she is on speed and how time speeds up and slows down. I've never been on drugs, but I thought it was so like from what people have told me, very accurate to how it is to be on drugs. I'm like, it was
one
interesting.
of the scariest scenes in the movie was the scene where she was sitting in the doctor's office.
She's sitting in the doctor's office, and while she's sitting by herself, time stretches out.
What was scary is like it started off all quick and like I don't know my cameras very well, but this looked like possibly it was shot with a wide-angle lens. Feel free to call me out in the comments as a fucking dumbass. I think it was a wide-angle lens, and like the way she's like off in the corner like that. Well, you see the doctor going fast, and then immediately like halfway through the scene, it slows down. And,
like a nurse comes in and she's like speedy quick and she goes and the time it takes for her to walk over and sit back down is dragged.
I use this word a lot. I've used this word a lot talking about this movie, but it's fucking disorienting.
Yeah.
And like it makes you feel like you're high watching the movie. I've never done these specific drugs, but
that is an accurate portrayal of how it is when you respond.
Right.
Absolutely is.
I'd assume so. Like this movie it's made by people who clearly know about the shit. And
I've only been on a 3-day bender, but she did it for like a month and a half, maybe more.
Longer.
We don't know.
It was going up.
They do it in seasons, like summer. She said she'd been on it since summer, and that scene was in winter. Wow. So 6 months probably.
6 months of
like a
pharmaceutical meth use.
Yeah. And it's fucked.
Another scene I wanted to bring up, and we're kind of going out of order here. But,
who cares? Watch Requiem of a Dream first.
Requiem 4.
No, watch Requiem of a Dream instead.
Like, just like I have a few funny notes that I want to bring up.
Yeah.
Because like I want to kind of transition into like discussing Little Man a bit more. So but we'll get to that in a bit. But before we start getting like kind of funny, I want to mention one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the scene of the two of them in the bed, where it's like split screen. And it's cutting between like their face and their reactions to like their fingers like feeling their bodies and stuff like that. And again, like just as like an editor, like that scene itself just like is fucking beautiful, and you really buy the fact that like these people like each other, you know. And it's such a tragic love story in so many ways, and a lot of that is also I hope I don't break this chair. A lot of that is also kind of shown in the. You know, we see the vision in the movie where he looks out and he sees Jennifer Connelly like far away, and this is very much so like this is himself. Like this is what he genuinely loves out of life is like her and this happiness with her sort of thing.
Yeah, but keep in mind this is the vision. Glow of a junkie.
Yeah,
this is the life and love of a junkie.
However, then like he gets so caught up in all this, and whenever they call back to it at the end. Like she disappears. So like these characters are constantly giving up like everything they want out of their lives because of their substance abuse. And that scene like to me is like a clear metaphor like towards that. Like now what was once this like really like this beautiful dream sequence is just empty now.
And I want to go back to that scene of them laying together and caressing each other. That was the scene when I had to sit and come to terms with myself that I think Jared Leto is hot in this movie.
On the fence, aren't you?
I just look at him and I see the Joker.
If you listen to Michael, he is on the fence and he can't make it. We've watched so many Jared Leto movies already.
Watched 2. One of them doesn't even really count.
It's not a lot. It's a lot.
I just look at him and I see the dumb Joker shit, but then I look at this movie and I'm like, but he's hot
you have the disadvantage of that being like the first movie you saw of him. That being said, like
he's hot and good in this movie. And
I think it's very unfair.
He's hot and good.
Because I'm a fan of Jared Leto as an actor.
Sexy.
As a person? How do you feel about him?
A person.
In some interviews, he seems kind of douchey, but I don't know.
I don't
like
really,
he's also
he started a cult.
Yeah, he kind of did. He like you could pay like I think like $30,000
hang out with him
at an island that he.
Yeah, I do not like him as a person.
He's kind of a weirdo. I don't know him personally, so I'm not gonna make any like.
Can I make light of that sex
But
scene?
I wanted to.
Yes, please.
Yeah. You go first. You're gonna forget.
I just wanted to mention like. Don't let Suicide Squad like ruin your opinion of him. It's really unfair. He's in a lot of really great movies that he's really great in. So,
I'm sure he's a great actor. I
know. Trust me. I hate his Joker too. I wasn't bothered by him as much in Justice League.
Yeah, man, he showed up.
I was very bothered by him in Justice League.
He showed up.
He just came. He was like, I'm here now.
We're not talking about Justice League. We talked about that movie for 2.5 hours.
Just to like talk about it real second, he didn't need to go method. He showed up.
No, and like
that's what I don't like about him. Is like he's such an intense method actor. I've heard from other actors.
I don't know how true like some of those Suicide Squad stories are.
This is my Heath Ledger talking to Jared Leto.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Now you listen here, young man. I'm going to teach you how to be the real Joker. So here's Jared Leto. Look at my club. Look at everything in my club. I can have a daiquiri. I can have another daiquiri. Or I cannot have a daiquiri. I'm the Joker. That's him.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Chef's kiss.
Well, the sex scene just made me think like, finger my lips, finger my fucking lips, finger my stomach holes, finger those little belly button
I was
stomach
looking
holes.
at that like I don't know what the fuck that is.
She was just like rubbing down his body.
That's being on dope. You just want to like feel shit.
Okay, we're already kind of in the funny section.
We were funny when we were watching it. It's an early scene, so we still felt happy and joy.
Oh, it fucking turned right away. It fucking turned.
Holy shit!
So Jared Leto's a cuck.
Yeah, that's the only note I took
he
for this
literally-
movie is Jared
so-
Leto is a cuck.
Such a bummer.
Yeah, like this is one of the most like dark, fucked up elements of the movie that she keeps on like. She clearly doesn't want to be
doesn't
doing
wanna
this
do
stuff,
sex work.
and it's a part of the giving up parts of yourself to like fulfill this this drug.
Where do they
use
live?
lifestyle. Oh fuck!
Like New York City?
No.
Was it
They
LA?
kept saying it in the fucking.
I don't remember. Listen,
Because they kept saying, I forget her first name.
I was in the
Boulder
middle
from
of-
blank.
Basically, the entire city
Well,
was dry of heroin, and that's not how any city is. I mean, we live in a southern
You already said.
town.
You
Yeah,
already
no,
said
we
we're
live in
living
Tucson.
You can say we live in Tucson. That's
So,
fine.
like,
fine.
Tucson will never be dry of heroin. There's a lot of heroin in Tucson.
Tucson is very dry though, just in general.
Yeah, it
Hey,
sucks living
look
here.
at these elbows. They
Yeah,
gotta put
fuck
the lotion.
Tucson.
I
Give
gotta
us money so we could move.
Yeah.
please.
Out of fucking Tucson.
Patreon, but make her a page for us. We don't want to do it. I've already done the impression of one of the guys is like ass to ass.
Ass to ass.
And that is a graphic fucking scene.
It's.
But like,
It's horrifying. It really is.
God.
that's probably the worst part of Jennifer Connelly's entire career.
Yeah.
Ass to ass.
So what you're saying is because
And-
I'd seen this movie before, but I hadn't placed who she was. Like I knew I recognized her. And
Dunce,
so when we sat here,
magic, dunce.
she's the girl from Labyrinth. And so
Which
now
I have not seen.
the second time I'm watching this movie, because I fucking grew up watching Labyrinth. It's a great movie. I definitely had some sort of sexual awakening during that movie.
Wait, about her or about
No,
David Bowie's
David
big old fucking
Bowie.
bulge? His bulge is
His
just like
bulge
unreal.
is
Especially when
fucking
he's
great.
fondling those balls in his hand.
Yeah, he's like
Great.
dancing with the baby, and he's like, "Magic baby, magic baby."
Yeah. That movie's great, but so that's where I had seen her growing up. So watching this movie like a second time and being like, that's the fucking girl from Labyrinth. I was like, what the
You had no
fuck?
idea
Holy
who
shit.
Jennifer Connelly was until we reminded you.
No,
and then
no
Labyrinth was
clue.
just like we piqued your interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like,
The whole time though, she's like a regular junkie ass girlfriend. Girls who aren't heroin are like that. That's how they are.
Yeah.
Very realistic. Very real movie. Too real.
too real.
Too real.
But yeah, that sex scene was.
I wanted to mention about that sex scene. So, we watched the director's cut of the movie, and as far as I can tell, like the only difference between the theatrical cut and that one is in that sex. There's no ass to ass.
There's no ass to ass in the.
Wow, they cut that?
In the
I can see
theatrical
why they
cut.
cut it.
It's
I can see why.
very graphic. You
It was
see
unnecessary.
them.
It could have been.
You
It could have just
see
been the
You
flashlights
see a
and like
flash
all
of
the
it going
guys.
in, like you do.
It is kind of unnecessary, but it's also like you want to show
I
how
don't
fucked it is.
I don't know
you
if it. Yeah, no, I'd argue it's not unnecessary.
Here's the thing:
because a
Jennifer
part of-
Connelly has clearly never been fucked in the ass because her facial expressions are just like
Not as right. Not
like,
as
you
right
can't
as
see
it
this.
should
This
be,
is
you're
No,
right.
like
it's like this.
She's making like
about
a lightly.
I'm about to make a very
confused face.
visual
She's
thing,
doing
but her
blue
face would be
steel.
like.
Yeah. You're
What
being
she's
paid.
doing while she's getting her ass fucked is Blue Steel by Derek Zoolander.
Kind of. Yeah. I was like, she's showing some pain, but like not
Kinda.
enough.
The
for that
other woman, the
situation.
like other chick in that scene is like
she's-
she was better.
I feel like she
They
was
should've cast her.
she may have actually been a porn star.
I
don't
did
know.
think that. I was like, did they get a real porn
She'd
star?
have-
I almost feel
she
like
knows what
for
she's
the
doing.
ass shots, like it probably wasn't. I could be. Well, no, she's done stuff in movies before.
Jennifer Connelly will
maybe it was Jennifer Connelly.
mildly show her vagina.
Wait, Bush.
You got
Merkin.
some Bush in this movie.
We're talking Merkins.
think
We're
it's a
talking
We talked about Merkins for too long.
kind of like I don't know, man. Like
Oh, I want to share that story again. So my senior year of high school, I was in art club, and we were gonna go to like some sort of gallery art thing, just so we could leave school for a day, honestly. But we were looking at nearby gallery showings, and one of them was for a Merkin gallery thing, and there was like a computerized where you could like design your own Merkin.
wow.
It's
I didn't
really
mention
funny.
that, yeah. And we almost went, because like me and my friends were all like making fun of it because we thought it was really funny, and my art teacher was like, no, it's a legitimate like art thing. And we're like, holy shit. I mean, more power to him, but what the fuck? That's all I have to say
One of my
about
teachers
Merkins.
got upset because I kept calling her ODB, old dirty bastard. She was hip. She kept giving me books. She's cool. Miss Anderson, if you're out there, how you doing?
Shout out to my art teacher, Miss Dobson.
Miss Dobson, how you doing?
So, Michael, I know you didn't write many notes. Danny, do you have any more notes that you
Let
would
me
like to
see.
mention? Don't give your rating
We should
yet.
talk about Marlene.
Okay. Okay,
Marlon Wayans.
I was gonna talk about I have one more thing I want to say, but it's kind of got to be.
Okay, I got a lot actually. This is
it's
awesome.
Kind of transition.
First off, these old bitches who are hanging outside the apartment complex, get a fucking table. Play some games.
Like this table we got for how much? Like $50. And
yeah,
it's
$50.
pretty nice.
Do stuff. And then it's just the Marlon Wayans and Jared Leto try and reinvent selling heroin. It's like, you know what we gotta do? Sell heroin. Like the guys who sell us heroin? Yeah, just like them. It's like a fucking Steve Jobs.
Okay, yeah, I didn't understand any of that because I don't know shit about drugs.
Every junkie does that. Every single junkie does that. And I thought Marlon Wayans was gonna run away with the money the first time he fucking got it, but he didn't. He was actually a bro till the very fucking end.
Very goddamn
Marlon Wayans, his character had fucking character.
Yeah.
He was amazing. And then one of the biggest things, and you guys can call me a fucking idiot, is why are they keeping bagels in the fridge?
We talked about this. So people do that. They put bread products in the fridge, and I disagree with it. And I had a conversation with my mother last week about this because we had bread for dinner, or bread as a part of her dinner, and she was cutting me a slice and then wrapping it up and putting it away. And I was like, hey, some people put bread in the fridge. And she's like, yeah, I've heard people think that it stops molding. It doesn't really do that. And it just dries out the bread and makes it worse. Brandon, so you really shouldn't do it in my
Get
opinion.
him some of that Costco focaccia bread. Get that shit.
Bread?
It is
have a Costco card membership.
You can scan the back of your name tag.
Wait, really?
Try it next time.
Give me bread.
Yeah.
I love bread.
Okay, so Junkie Shark Tank is that Bush, Merkin. They say Dynamite a lot. I don't know why they made Marlon Wayans
specifically
a fucking 1970s character.
Yeah, I did have a question.
He was a caricature of an African American man.
He just kept on. He just. Well, I mean, I never took
Dynamite.
it as he kept on saying that. I never took it as this. He's a stereotype necessarily.
He probably grew up hearing that. I
bought him as genuinely a kid who grew up in the ghetto with this upbringing sort of thing.
I was gonna say,
I never took it as stereotypical.
The movie tells a lot of different points of view. People who get into drugs, and his story is, and you kind of do have to narrow it down to stereotypes if you've got one person representing all the different ways you can get into drug use. But his was definitely the growing up around drugs. All the people you know are drug dealers, so you end up looking up to them. Mm-hmm. So then when you're grown up and it's what do you want to do? It's I want to be like my heroes, the dudes who are living on my street making a living, giving me money. I want to sell drugs. And it's the unfortunate cycle that a lot of people get stuck in.
Mm-hmm. That's the only thing you fucking get. A lot of times, I'll just run through this real quick. I talk about Bush a lot, actually.
So many comments about Bush.
I didn't know where they live. Choker on Jennifer Connelly was kind of hot.
It was good.
Jared Leto stopped checking on his mom right away.
He did.
He saw that she had a drug addiction. She was on speed, and he stopped checking on her for the entire movie.
Yeah, but do you consider that a problem with the movie, or is it more?
Yeah.
He's also on drugs. So
that's what I was going to say.
He's on heroin, and he knows how it's
he loses sight of everything good about his life, and he loses sight of checking on his mom, taking care of her, and they actually both kind of get caught up in this drug-induced lifestyle. I don't consider that a problem. If anything, it's almost
I can
intentional.
Also kind of relate to that. When you are a younger person dealing with someone who should be, well, not necessarily for this part,
above
his mom. Well, someone who is supposed to be an adult to you, to take care of you. And they're both adults, but even when you are grown up, your mother is still an adult to you who takes care of you in a certain way.
That was an interesting point for the movie where they showed that drug abuse can be casual. Mm-hmm. You won't know that you're on drugs because your doctor prescribed them, and that will get you strung out.
But that was also
that was four different versions of drug addiction in this movie.
When you're in that lower position when it's someone you're supposed to look up to, who's supposed to help you, and they're struggling with drugs, it's a really tough place to be in because
it's you're infantilized.
Yeah, so it's you're both the child and have to be the adult in the situation sometimes. It's when they're high and can't do anything, and I'm talking about personal experience at this point now, and you're a little kid and no one's made you food, you have to go and do that yourself. So you have to become the adult to take care of yourself, but also you feel the urge to become an adult and stop them from doing drugs or from hurting themselves, which is a situation that you can't be in. And this movie didn't go in as deep as it could have, but I understand why it didn't.
It got pretty deep.
It got pretty deep. But it's like,
but
it's
my
a tough
darkest
situation.
scene was when Jennifer Connelly like put on the smoky eye. That was the end of her life.
Yeah. When she's putting the makeup on, and she's just
oh my
gone.
god, that phone call scene right there is like one of the fucking in an overly like overall super tragic, like upsettingly sad movie.
And they're both
that
just breaking
scene.
down
That scene's
in
hard.
ways.
Like that scene gets me choked up every time I watch it. Where she like this is her calling him like, "Can you please come home tonight?" That's kind of like her last like little like sense of trying to get back that part of herself before it gets completely lost. This movie, like, it's about losing yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like that's
and you know that because we were talking about like how he never comes back to see his mom again. Like that scene was almost like interrupts the movie, in a way where it's kind of they both kind of
acknowledge it.
In a way, he calls her out for doing uppers, and then she like she just vents about how she's feeling. Like they're both kind of hit with reality at this moment, and maybe the fact that they never really share a scene again in the movie is a testament to kind of like they had to get like that moment kind of forced them to get even more sucked into this lifestyle.
That is reality. When I was younger, my mom would tell me about my aunt who would be like high on pot, and then after actually hearing her story, my aunt was on heroin. That's how my uncle died. He died off heroin, and my cousin, like her mom, won't deal with it. They won't fucking deal with it either. It's like,
sorry.
It's very easy to be a junkie.
Yeah.
It's very easy to have that in your family. It's hard to deal with. And I have a friend right now who's not dealing with his father. They're just kind of like letting it ride out. He's going to die. He's going to die of meth overdose. And I'm not going to talk to him about it. I just like find crack pipes around their house and like nobody else in the family's fucked up. Just the dad.
It's
horrible,
just a
I'm sorry.
fucking fucked
That's
up
how it happens.
situation all the time. Like,
And you don't know how to deal with it.
yeah, I've had family members die of alcohol abuse, and other family members are just drinking with them every time they see him, and it's like, this is a deep fucking episode.
I'm gonna put
there needs to be like
real
a content
quick.
warning.
Like
This
the first
episode
half,
is
so for being drunk movie talk. Like this was the worst. This is the like this. Do not listen to the first half of this.
This episode
because this is a fucking like this. Like I think we should talk about.
I'm gonna get a phone
This
call
episode
from
is brought to you by
boyfriend when he
Steel
listens to
Reserve.
This goddamn episode.
This episode is brought to you by Steel Reserve.
It is not. We were not sponsored by anything. We have 70 subscribers. But I especially I like we were trying to transition into talking about funny things, and we got sucked back into it because we all have fucked up lives.
Our lives are so funny.
On a less serious note, I wanted to mention a connection I made between both the movies.
I hate this connection. I know what it is.
You know what it is?
Yeah,
so,
read your fucking.
Marlon Wayne's
well,
butt?
I didn't even.
We didn't even talk about Marlon Wayne's
Okay, well,
butt.
yes. So I just want to mention, Requiem for a Dream ends with Marlon Wayans going to prison, right?
I hate this.
Little man opens up with a big released from prison. So, but like obviously, there's a big plot hole in here. That, like, why is he?
No,
why
they're
is Marlon
connected.
Wayans-
They're connected. Marlon
What's
Wayans
his-
loses 5 feet of height.
Yeah, well, somehow, but like what I'm saying is like basically we have a trilogy here that's missing a second part. I want to see this fucking life, and it's like the Evil Dead trilogy where it's like the first one's actually like an attempt at a horror film, and then like the series has evolved so much that the third one's just like a full on like slapstick comedy.
If we're talking about
that's what we're
Bruce
going
Campbell,
for.
we asked too
I
much
met
of
him
him
twice.
We asked too much of Bruce Campbell.
Why do you say that?
He physically hurt himself, and he can't do a lot of shit.
No, Sam Raimi fucking like beat the fuck out of him on set of his movies. Like Bruce Campbell like told a really funny story.
Remember when I was watching Sky High and Bruce Campbell was in Sky High?
Yeah.
I sent you a picture because I was watching with my dad, and you complained that my feet were in the picture.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. You like your feet. I was like, I didn't even realize.
I'm sick of your unintentional foot porn. It's all over the place. You got baked beans on the feet. How dare you?
I gotta put beans on my toes
Yeah,
to make them yummy.
Toe beans.
Anyway, but like but like really quick, like what do you guys think this like second film of the series would be that would connect them? Like, because I was trying to think about it. I think you gotta go like sci-fi with the second one. The first one's like a drug, like drama, thriller, like arguably horror movie. Second one, we go like it's a sci-fi action movie set in a prison with Marlon Wayans, and then somehow fucking,
he loses
like
all of his memory and 5 feet.
The aliens fucking like torture him, and they fuck up his body so bad that he becomes a little person.
Right, this is my impression
of the movie.
And I don't know what happened. I lost 5 feet of height, and some reason they put an airborne like 82 on my arm.
I wanted to talk about that.
My name's Marlon Wayans. And if you know who I am, can you please call the police?
It's like I don't know, but like I don't have much more to say about that. Like you guys,
Little Man seems like a movie that Marlon Wayans did on heroin.
I don't know.
We're gonna get into that in a minute. I love Requiem for Dream. Do you want our rating?
Are we done with talking about it? I'm done.
I think any other conversation we have about this is just going to be delving more into our personal traumas.
Yeah, so
we are all equally fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all went kind of in depth with this one about how it spoke to us.
I should have had a therapy session before this, so you guys didn't hear all my shit.
No, I mean, if you want me to cut anything, that's totally okay. But I think it'll come as no surprise, and like this is not something I try to just do casually, like as far as rating movies, but this movie has to be like a 10 out of 10 for me. This is a perfect movie.
I had the same
review, 10
yeah,
out of 10.
I assumed
everything about it. This is the first time I watched it.
It's
everything
perfect.
about it is perfect.
Any
it is that rare perfect
perfect
film.
Are immediately erased because of just how each of us from different walks of life are connected so intimately to this movie.
I mean, I can't really see a flaw with this movie. Like I don't
any technological flaws. Like you mentioned that the soundtrack is now.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't
dated.
affect when it came out at the year 2000, and that's not by. The song itself is timeless. It's just more. It's kind of been ruined by.
Yeah, they shouldn't have put "I Kissed a Girl" and I liked it in the song. Yeah, it was a bad song to put in. I kissed a girl.
Yeah, I know.
I did.
That didn't come out yet. I'm fucking with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely came out in 2007.
Yeah.
But no, like
it should have been
I can't.
in Little Man.
So, but yeah, it's already, and I watched it like in January-ish, but it's already like one of my favorite movies. Like, I can't recommend it enough. I am definitely gonna say watch it sober.
Watch it sober.
Very sober.
We watched it sober right now, and every minute was important.
Yeah, it's that rare movie that that's just perfect on every level.
And you
just sit
you
down.
You don't want to watch it impaired in any way. It's like you
sit down and focus on it, and not just because it'll make you think and it's talking about serious stuff, but for the artistry alone, it's worth looking at every frame and paying close attention to. So
it's very good. It's
flat out 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
I have to excuse myself, guys. This is love you.
All of our first 10 out of 10.
Love all of you guys.
Yeah, I think a universal 10 out of 10 will never happen again.
It might,
maybe. But yeah, it speaks to all of us who have different upbringings, different traumas, and we connect to this in different ways, and it's fucking amazing.
But most importantly, it's about family, and that's why it's important. That's what makes it so. Whatever the fuck that dead bitch said. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. I'm sorry.
Why'd you call her a dead bitch?
I didn't think about it. Wow, I'm gonna get so much shit on the
You
internet
are, and I'm gonna be the first one saying that you're a terrible person. Carrie Fisher.
Well, rest in peace. I love you, Carrie Fisher. So, before we talk about Little Man, I kind of want to just write a few quotes from the review that the film critic Mark Kermode made of the movie Little Man. And these are kind of rough paraphrases, but this is what he said. If you go see Little Man, shame on you. If you spend money on Little Man, shame on you. For the record, I spent
How much money?
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Oh.
I spent $21 in. I rented it twice. Like, so...
Wow.
I'll get into
no
why.
Money on this goddamn movie.
I rented it twice, like once, like just, and I wasn't even, the first time I wasn't even thinking like, oh, this will be a podcast movie. It was just like on Dress and I wanted something to watch. I'm like, okay, I'll rent it for $4 because I remembered loving it. I remembered loving it as a kid. Then the second time I wanted to show like you guys, and then you had to leave and you fell asleep. Yeah. But I gave you the login and you still.
I woke up with coffee all over me. I'm sorry about your couch.
Was it?
Oh, I somehow brought the coffee back here.
Yeah, you did.
It all over myself.
I forgot about that coffee. Yeah.
Anyway, but then like I needed to watch it again, like to take notes, and I watched it with my dad. So I said at this point, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy the movie. And like for the record, I don't regret the decision.
Fuck you.
And I'll get into why. I'll get into why.
So
anyway, I'm not done with the quotes.
Okay, I'll tell it later.
If you spend money on Little Man, shame on you. So shame on me. There is no deep enough pit to throw every copy of Little Man. It is evil. Little Man is bad for the world and is possessed by the devil. And I can't disagree, though.
He's absolutely correct.
I'll start with my thesis statement. And like you have to know, like. I don't think I really even have, like, a sense of nostalgia for the movie, even though I loved it as a kid. Like, my fascination with it has nothing to do with that, and I never let nostalgia kind of, like, blind my opinion of something. It's something I actively try to do. But Little Man is it's, like, obviously it's one of the fucking worst movies I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But I am deeply fascinated by it, because it goes so far, and so over the top. It's one of the most fucking absurd premises ever. The movie, it is unintentionally an absurd, like, surrealist comedy. But, like, it's not trying to be, and it just achieves being fucking... It's an unironic Tim and Eric movie. Danny.
Do you think it is blaxploitation?
I don't know.
I'm not as familiar with the blaxploitation.
Yeah, well, like I always
people.
think of blaxploitation as like 70s like action like movies.
There are two African Americans and Keenan Michael Wayne or whatever.
No, Keenan Ivory Waynes.
That's a stupider name.
Yes, let's just shit on it.
I think it could be like the modern blaxploitation might be these.
Oh yeah, it's made
like White Chicks.
Yeah, like White Chicks and Scare.
I mean, it's made by.
Scary movie, Haunted House, they're all kind of have that.
It's made by black people, and a lot of it is like humor that's like kind of appeals to a lot of African American people. Like, I mean, and keep in mind, I'm saying this as a white man, so if I say
we are both incredibly white, Brandon and I.
I'm gonna do an impression.
If I say anything out of,
I'm gonna do an impression of black man. Now, this movie is quite a shock.
Social commentary.
Your racist podcast,
but So I love like good bad movies that are like so bad that they're fucking incredible. Like, and to me, this
was not that.
This was not that.
To me, it was. I don't know what I fucking.
We have so much to talk about.
I adore this so much as a bad movie. I'm deeply fascinated by it.
The argument we have about The Fanatic, where you fucking love it and I can't stand it.
Yeah, but it's fucking like
it was so
even
bad.
like during the trailer when we watched it, like I find it fucking.
You watched
hilarious.
it to feel happy again after we talked about Requiem.
I watched it again. Yeah,
it's a buffer. It's a buffer movie.
No, I don't know what it is. Like because obviously like it goes for like the most easy, like terrible, like bottom of the barrel jokes, but it makes like the worst jokes it makes the worst jokes you could make, but it's the fact that it clearly isn't like being ironic though. Like it does humor on the level. No,
it has a lot of famous actors in it.
That doesn't mean it tried. Well, they were trying with the movie. I'll say that. It was a movie they wanted to make that they were laughing at as they were making it and stuff like that. But like,
did they?
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say like it seems like a movie that they wanted to make.
If you were in the writers' room,
compared to
call in.
Oh, please let us know.
Oh my god! But
We both
it's
put our
something.
fingers to the
So
ears,
like,
and then we didn't have
so
to.
on the level of like, you know how Red Letter Media makes fun of comedies and
Yeah.
like Tim and Eric do that too. Like, this is how this movie authentically is. Like, it just authentically is that like bad fucking comedy.
It is not authentic.
It's not.
It is a ripoff of a
The Bugs Bunny cartoon. I know that, and I was going to mention
Yeah.
that. Is that it is.
Believe that.
Fucking, where did I write
Yep.
that?
Even
I
Roger
forget
Rabbit
what it-
did the joke.
I know I wrote. Yeah,
Roger
yeah,
Rabbit
yeah.
did the joke of the
Well,
baby who was actually
and-
like 45.
Oh,
smoking
yeah,
cigarettes.
Yeah.
That's
And
a common joke, you know? It's
and-
funny to see babies doing
So
adult
in
things.
the Double Toasted review, which is really good, they mentioned how they not only is it like obviously like almost like kind of a fucking ripoff of that Bugs Bunny skit, but like they shamelessly like stole like one of the scenes verbatim, which is like near the end with whenever the one goon turns off the light off and he like hits him with
the best scene in the movie they
even-
stole.
You thought that was the best scene, really? So
No.
anyway,
It was a scene that held my
to
attention.
the point where Bugs Bunny or not.
Warner Brothers? No,
Or,
who does?
yeah, Bugs Bunny even
Warner Brothers.
like so it is Warner Brothers, but like the end of the scene when the goon says "click" instead of saying that, like that also happened. Like the scene is verbatim from Looney
I can
Tunes.
remember the scene.
So it works.
Click.
Yeah, Click. That weird deep voice, which is his actual natural voice too, which is weird because I watched like
he was he had a very deep voice.
yeah, but like I
thought it was
remember
fake,
like I remember watching the movie. I was like, why did they digitally make his voice deep? Like I did, like Batman. Like I just
Or he
I was
just sounds
getting
like he took a bunch of
That's
takes
just
to
how he
throw.
talks though. Because
yeah.
I watched. I went all out with this movie. Like I watched like interviews. I watched behind the scenes. Like I really like this movie's. It's not just for the podcast. I'm very fascinated by this movie.
If you listen
It's
to
fucking-
anybody
it's
talk,
fucking
you
crazy.
can tell how many cocks they put in their mouth.
How many cocks have I put in my mouth?
4.5.
No.
You're off by
Oh, and a half.
What
Oh,
was
and a half.
half? Wait.
I don't know.
and half a cock.
Brandon, you talk.
I like Little Man
4.5.
more.
You're just guessing 4.5.
Anyway, so
I'm drunk.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I need to get more drunk.
Look, it's
You
fucking Steel
He says
Reserve
he drinks
is a
water.
fucking nut.
Well, I'm drinking water so I can do shots.
Yeah.
Steel Reserve is what bums drink.
Cool.
I don't know who actually drinks this.
I'm not vibing
I've
with
never
these 40s.
heard of it in my life.
Holy shit! You asked me to bring 40s. I brought
I've never
40s.
drank them before. I drank
Yeah.
some at a party.
Nobody drinks 40s. Here's why: they get fucking warm by the time you get to the bottom. Look at this. That's still cold, actually.
Drop some ice cubes in it.
I don't know who I've been having to yell at lately. You don't put ice cubes in your beer.
That's what I knew you were
You
gonna
chill
say.
the glass, otherwise you blow your brains out. You know. Keep going. Sorry, Brendan.
No, he's done. I don't want to listen to him say
Michael?
Little Man's good anymore.
No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying I love it.
It is.
I agree. Like it's fucking so horrible. It's unfathomably horrible.
It is a scientific case. That movie.
So
It reached a level of bad that I didn't know existed, and I loved it. It was.
No.
All right, Michael.
So this movie is
I have notes going in chronological order of the movie, but continue.
this movie is very bad, but very bad in the sense that I felt it was like sucking years off of my life as I was watching it.
It does get to a point where you're like, "Why am I watching this?"
I totally blacked out. Like at the point when Marlon Wayans is like fighting the guys at the end.
Yeah, that's
I
the
looked
worst
away from
part
my
of the
phone.
movie.
I took a drunk nap. I started watching this drunk, and it was just like, oh my god, I have to get more drunk.
It was the worst.
I
that was
rewatched.
the
Oh,
worst
that's what
part
I
of
want
the
to say.
movie, but, yeah.
I watched it first. How many weeks ago was when we did that? Like 2.
It was like 2 weeks
ago.
We
I
need
watched
a
it then.
schedule.
Then today, before I came in, I found a terrible like re-upload of it on YouTube. Like they like zoomed in and it was very shitty.
We talked about it at the
But-
beginning of the show.
Compilation?
It is
or
in,
what?
No, it was like the whole movie.
I know
but
what you
very
because there's a
shittily.
lot of Family Guy episodes uploaded
Yeah.
like that.
It was the exact same experience. The exact same experience watching this movie. It shittily edited to get around fucking copyright. The exact same experience. I did not understand a word, a thing. No joke was funny. No physical gag was funny. It all sucked and I hated it.
There are 3 jokes in the movie that I
Okay.
think worked. But I'll get to that when I get to that. Because I have, like, I actually...
Danny's turn. Thesis statement.
Are we even, like, do we even have a structure for this movie?
I do.
We're supposed to. I mean, you guys didn't take 3 shots like we normally do.
I want to
he moved everything.
take
these are more
the listener into my arms.
What?
Little Man was a movie that really dug deep into the experience of an African American dwarf. A little person. Now, consider 2 things. 1, a man getting out of jail, and a man who wasn't at the height of other men.
Are you making fun of Mark Kermode?
It was a truly environmental epic.
I'm glad he's gotten this drunk.
And Kerry Washington really didn't need to be in it. She was above this, but she did it anyway.
She was above this.
So I would say when we consider
Washington?
the wife, god damn it, look at that shit. Put it up on your fucking phone. It'll help you out, especially about the John Withers. John Witherspoon. John Witherspoon is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
All in all, the entire movie, like Brandon's review he saw, like really tore it to shreds. I heard that. This is a movie that. Like, yeah, at the time, 2006 was a fucking crazy year.
Yeah.
We were spouting hate speech at a young age.
My brother was born.
Doing whatever the fuck we want. Michael's brother was born, and apparently Michael's brother, I need to learn more about him later.
He sucks.
I
have stories.
Over coffee.
Yeah.
And
another therapy session.
This movie, was it coming off of White Chicks, or was it before White Chicks?
This was coming off of White Chicks.
Yeah.
So, like... They rolled it in. They didn't do a lot of work. It was kind of shitty. Okay, hear me out.
I'm just saying that because I watched superhero movie which we're gonna review.
Hold on. There are 2 cars that end up in the driveway of the family who adopt Marlon Wayans.
Yes.
What I'm thinking is the getaway car was put under a tarp. Double check it. So this movie, I don't think didn't have a big budget.
No,
it hired.
I want to talk about the effects, but I also want to go in order.
The effects were shit.
The effects is the first thing you fucking noticed. We
blue
can
and
talk
green
about that
screen.
first.
There were two. There were two dwarfs.
The only
who did
thing
the work.
the only thing I wrote down like before that is like the movie dates itself immediately with the "Right and Dirty" song. Like you immediately.
I do like that song though.
But then. So,
I didn't know this was
as
your
far as
turn.
the effects go, like, even though the movie's low budget, there are times where they clearly could have used, like, forced perspective.
Yeah.
And, like, they didn't even need to use CG. Like, because there's a lot of shots of him, like, sitting in the car and, like...
Pardon me, Brandon.
Like, you could have done close-ups, and you could have, like, done... Like, there's so many ways you could have, like, cut around, and you didn't... Like, some of the effect shots, like, are funny, and I feel like it's... I think so. Like, because it looks goofy, and I feel like a part of the... I feel like half of it was intentionally like, look how fucking weird this looks.
Mr.
And then the other
Marino.
half of it. And do you know how they did the effect?
Yeah.
Blue screen.
No,
Yeah,
but like
two
they
different
had
dwarfs.
they had one 9-year-old.
A 9-year-old.
They had one 9-year-old to do the acting and one like older guy to do the action.
Did they? No.
Yeah, they had
did
two
the
people.
action. I watched the.
I'll show
behind
you
the
a
scenes.
skit right now.
I
I'll
had
show
the
you
behind
Cash.
the scenes. Okay, well,
anyway. Calvin Body 1, and then Calvin.
Oh,
yeah.
Huh, that's weird. Anyway,
Mr. Marino, I would like to interject.
Marino.
This was my time. And if we flip the hourglass, I will say 2 things. 1, John Witherspoon really sold this entire movie.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna get into that.
And 2,
so
Carrie Ann J. Washington should not have done the movie.
She shouldn't have done the movie.
Who's that?
She was in Django. She was the wife in Django.
Who was she in Little Man?
The wife.
That's okay.
Yeah, she was way better than all this bullshit.
Fuck, that's what she was. Oh wow, I didn't even notice that. But
She deserves more.
So
go ahead.
I just want to mention, and
I relinquished my time.
This was also brought up in the Double Toasted review. So the Queen's Diamond is this fucking like it's just
there.
it's just casually at like a diamond store.
Also,
but and then the movie
Queen's Diamond.
The movie shits on cops, and I think like on paper
it was a little funny.
Yeah,
on paper the jokes were really funny.
It was
but
an
like,
Uncle Tom
what-
joke. It was
but
an
what
Uncle Tom
didn't-
joke.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
make sense is that like
The cop was beating the shit out of black people.
one
the
of
black
the
cop.
The black
yeah,
cop
one-
was beating the
like
shit out of black people.
if it was both white cops, like the joke would have made sense and landed more. But one of the cops
No,
was black, made it a little.
You are. I'm going to pull the race card
That's okay.
real quick.
Sure.
I am a Latino American man. Oftentimes, when you see people of color in a power position, they have to act above
Okay.
the others.
Yeah.
They have to be hyper vigilant, which is what you see in this scene, where a black
It was a
man
funny scene.
is going out of his way to beat the shit out of another black man because he looks mocha colored,
That's right. Yeah, that was
not
funny.
not like dark.
and it
I don't know
was,
what you call it, like
That was-
Coca-Cola
that was
colored.
that was
they
the
say
part
like
that
no, it was
a
more of a
little funny.
light.
Well, he looks mocha to me.
More of a light mocha caramel
That
flame sort of
line
thing.
where
is
he's
what it
like,
is.
I thought that
It
line
was funny.
from the white cop was a little funny. I was like,
I've
thought
made
so
jokes
too,
that
but,
I would like my coffee to come to me as
So,
Ashley
so you
Banks.
mentioned John Witherspoon, and what I wrote down is John
Love.
Witherspoon is always a delight to watch, and like fucking rest in peace. I love that actor so much. Like he's like obviously like this is not a good movie, but like even
when did he
he's
die?
was it?
When did
He died a few years ago.
Fuck.
Didn't know that? Yeah, no, like John Witherspoon's amazing, and like everything from like obvious things like
yeah, he died in 2019.
Wow.
yeah, didn't know that. Wow.
He died from like fucking his wife way too much.
Well, his wife died the same year.
I was making a
So
joke.
sad.
You made it
I know.
dark.
No, I'm just saying.
Anyway,
my spouse right underneath.
But
died
but
the
no,
same
but
year.
everything from Friday to even voicing Granddad in the Boondocks. Like,
Can I show you?
I still
Can I
need to
show you
see
some
the
racist
Boondocks.
shit?
great show.
So you know the one friend who's hot of Kerry Washington.
The the
White
porn
lady.
star one.
She is top billed over Kerry Washington,
That's so sad.
and Kerry Washington is in the entire movie.
Holy
Okay.
shit! She's in the whole movie.
But like this movie has an
So-
interesting
but-
way to attack
well-
racism.
Okay, we'll get to that, but like, so John Witherspoon's in the movie, and like, one of his first lines, it's the joke where he's like, "Oh yeah, well I'll make the hoo ha with Jennifer Lopez while Halle Berry tickle my butt." Like that's my impression of John Witherspoon, not just of a black person, just John Witherspoon specifically.
Is that
but
racist?
he says "tickle my butt," and it cuts away. And like to me, it's obvious. Like lots of the movie has like very obvious ADR to like make it PG-13. It seems like they shot the movie to be rated R. So
Yeah, they did.
There
Yeah, I can
were
see that.
moments
It's
where
like
they
the
dubbed
missed
the movie.
Doubtfire moment where it could have been R or NC-17.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love
and then
that movie. It's so problematic.
so he has the tattoo that says 82nd Airbound. So
That's
was
the
he-
biggest
was
question.
he in the army?
No, he wouldn't have been in the army.
yeah,
he would not
that
have been in the
doesn't make
army.
any
I don't think it would have
The
been
army will never
like, all
admit
the-
a dwarf.
Of all the tattoos
Unfortunately.
that they could have put, like, why 82nd Airborne?
He honestly should have been.
They
like,
never
West Side
reference
Crip.
it. They never reference it in the
Yeah.
movie.
Some
There's
Okay.
no fucking way a fucking veteran is going to
I want to
jail
talk
with
about.
that shit.
I want to talk about the mob boss character, who is totally doing an impression of Christopher Walken from True Romance, and he's even like dressed just like him. And you know, I
Do
know
you know
my
his
proof.
name? Do you know his name?
The character's name is Walken.
Is Walken.
Yeah. So it's like obviously that's what they were trying to do.
Now
But it's just
you look here. I can't let you be the little man. Hey yo.
that was not
Walken would
the
not have
best
done this
impression.
movie. Walken.
No,
has-
but that's what I want to say is it seems like although Walken has done other terrible movies, like
Name three.
He did Food Fight.
Name three.
He was in
Food Fight.
He was
Okay.
in
I'll look up.
It's a
the
bad
Nine
movie.
Lives movie with Kevin Spacey and the cats.
Ooh.
Yeah, the age.
All right, name one more.
The War with Grandpa, which just came out this year.
He was in that.
Yeah, it was one of the
is that?
Grandpa's
Never heard
films.
of
Week
But
12.
I also
Week 12.
I have no promises with that.
I read that book. And
That's
I
too close to. Anyway, but I wrote another note. Okay, so with Walken, like who is like basically like the main threat of the movie. He's like the villain.
Yeah.
I can't really take him that seriously because there is the movie's obviously not trying to be taken seriously, but every movie needs to have a sense of logic. No matter what, this movie has zero.
I like what his hair is doing right now.
Yeah. I was just thinking
It's
that
like
his hair looks
a
nice.
little bit over here, but then a little bit over here.
Okay.
We are discussing Brandon Menino.
Yes,
None of us know how to pronounce his
Menino's
last name.
No, you got
terrific haircut.
It's very
It's a
nice.
terrific haircut. If you are a lady and you want to have sexual relations, this guy's going to give you the big old reach around.
I am single. But even for a comedy that's not taking itself seriously, you need certain things to make it a movie that has like conflict and like the main source of, well, maybe not the main source, but the antagonist like through line. You can't take him seriously because there's the
who's the antagonist?
I'm skipping it. Walken. And then there's
I don't
the scene,
feel like it is, but it is.
No, he comes back. He's the
protagonist is
the main. Okay,
Sean Wayans, and the antagonist is Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
No, and the main conflict of the movie is him in this predicament. But like when it comes down to it, like the guy that they have to like fight at the end of the movie, the fucking like the I want his commentary.
Sorry, keep going. I was about to take a piss, but honestly, let's keep going.
Sure. So
stand up.
There's the scene. I'm skipping ahead a bit, and I'm going to go back. But while we're talking about Walken as a character, so there's the scene where Tracy Morgan, please don't. I know you're joking. I almost did that in an episode too. There's the scene. It's on record. Fucking Tracy Morgan, whom I love.
I do like Tracy Morgan.
I love Tracy Morgan.
I'm
and
so
even though he's making like terrible jokes, aside from one that genuinely made me laugh in the movie, I'll talk about it when I get to it.
Oh, okay.
Like he's still fun to watch for me.
Yeah,
but the scene where he makes the mistake of like giving him the diaper bag to the mob boss. He's just I just smell a dirty diaper, and then like. So, the fact that he doesn't execute him on the spot, like, it immediately eliminates any sense of him being, like, a threatening villain in the movie. Yeah. So I can't take any of it seriously, and, like, maybe I'm getting
I'm
too
gonna stop you right there.
but
Brandon, a mob boss would lose an asset if he killed him right away. And also, the Queen's Diamond is a ridiculous joke.
It
is in a Macy's jewelry store. Anything equivalent. It is stupid as shit. And what makes the Queen's Diamond? The Queen's Diamond is probably like under heavy guard.
If they're talking about the actual, what's that called? The
Crown Jewels.
No, there's this special big diamond.
The big old Queen dildo.
Sure.
I don't know what you're talking
She has a big old diamond dildo.
No, so there's this like special like Hope Diamond.
The Hope Diamond. Which was stolen at one point,
right? I think multiple times. But that's kind of like what I felt they were going for. Like, it's like the Hope Diamond, but not the Hope Diamond. The Queen's Diamond. Why is it in this
I don't even know what the Hope Diamond is.
Chicago? The Hope Diamond is actually it's a big diamond they stole from India.
Oh no. So you know like the weird smile that like Marlon Wayans does? Like
it's like this. I drew it and then like...
Yeah, but like you know, like my dad brought this up, and he's totally right. I think it is him trying and failing to do the Eddie Murphy smile, and it's like, like there's so much of
you
this
are
movie.
absolutely right.
Okay, here's my Eddie Murphy.
Honestly, like my favorite Eddie Murphy movie, because I haven't seen that many, is the fucking Haunted Mansion movie. I love that movie.
Wow,
you've never seen it.
Your opinions are immediately.
I love that movie. It's bad.
A Vampire in Brooklyn.
I've never seen that.
It's so good.
Okay, now I want to get to. I know
what it is.
Well, I want to get to one of the worst parts of the movies, and there's no way we won't like disagree on this. There's really gross, like dark, like rape and sexual assault jokes.
Fucking
but
terrible.
You know what's awful? Like, and you know, like if you listen to this podcast, you know I'm not above making like rape jokes and stuff like that. But you know, like it's my philosophy. Like, you know, and you know, George Carlin was always very like supportive of this. Like, I think anything can be funny in the right context. In the right context, and that's an important thing to know. I think you could make anything funny. But this plays like these rape jokes. Like it's not played as like dark humor.
It's casual.
It's played casual, and it's played as like goofy, like cartoony comedy. And
I'm fine with your rape jokes because they're immediately counterbalanced by both of us going, "What the fuck?" and then
the joke
making it funnier. The joke is it's a horrible thing.
Hey, my name is
the joke isn't that.
My name is Brandon Menino when I rape myself with a big old shoe.
You're not wrong.
Hey yo.
Oh my god!
But no,
if you're Italian, I'm racist.
Thank you. I'm 1/8 Italian.
Oh my god, you're 1/8 racist.
1/8 was how much you fit in his asshole.
The rape
on,
jokes.
go
It's
on.
really casual.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the only one who wants
Dark
to talk
as
about
shit.
this.
Oh my god, no! Flat out, like
It
Revenge
was-
of the Nerds did like a subtle approach.
No,
to
it
this.
wasn't even
This
subtle.
was
like,
straight up like a rape.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds is no better, in my opinion.
Also, like-
than its rape joke.
I
Okay,
haven't seen Revenge of the Nerds.
if
but I
I'm
trust you guys
getting
on
dick
that.
Revenge of the Nerds doesn't even
if
like,
my
act like
butthole
it's
is
rape.
being penetrated by big old fat dick,
That wasn't her
like
butthole.
I might
That was
like
your butthole.
touch the hips of whoever's fucking me.
So
Yeah, you want to touch the
I wanna-
person you're having sex
oh,
with, right?
that person has a 12-inch waist, not a 32,
You-
like a normal
maybe-
man. What happened?
Maybe it's just me during sex, but I try as often as I can to kiss the person I am fucking. It's the one man. But I know people
How
who
would
don't.
she have done that? She literally just like
You
bent
can't-
her back, which Kerry Washington does not deserve this
She
type
doesn't-
of
She doesn't deserve
discredit.
to be.
She was in Django.
The
Django. The
Django.
D is silent.
Is it? Oh God!
That's a line in the movie.
It is. Yeah, no.
Do
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
That's
I've seen it a
that
lot
was
of
a
times.
funny joke.
I shouldn't like that
I-
movie because of Spike Lee.
That's Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Spike Lee criticized the movie, and that's
Well,
why they didn't.
Spike Lee fucking he has
Spike
a lot of
Lee,
extreme
he
opinions.
criticized the movie, and that's why they didn't release the action figures.
I sitting through that scene, I knew it was coming
I want
up.
to bring
and
this up. So yeah, because it's in the trailer. I mean, first there's the titty scene where
my
he
God.
wants to he wants to
Breastfeed.
he's trying to suck on this girl's like tits basically, and the
don't
way the
get
movie
that.
plays it is like again like just casual and goofy. And
Keep in mind,
and
Brittany Danielle.
but I want to talk about
Her
I
tits.
mean, she's got good tits, but
well, the thing is
For
like,
my clinical
this is my bias thing. Like to me, Alex Borstein is way more attractive.
Me
than-
too.
than her.
Oh my God, me
I
too.
thought that she was like the hotter of the two by
Because
far.
like, okay,
but like
Michael,
I know that the other mom.
lady, and then Alex Borstein. I have loved Alex Borstein since
She's
Miss
great.
Swan.
Oh
in
yeah,
Mad TV.
my dad
She
showed
I
is
me
mean,
an
that.
they're both women,
incredibly
so I don't have
attractive
an opinion.
woman.
But I will say that like the first blonde lady appeals to like
Not real.
Yeah, no, she's
society.
she's
12-year-old
she's
kids.
the
Yeah,
basic.
Toyo kids,
She's
but
the basic
is
hot
you know?
girl. and
I would have
she's hot, but
fucked the
I
shit
wouldn't-
out of Alex Borstein in this movie because she was real. Too
She was
real.
real. She
I
was
did
very
not
She was too
recognize it was her because I've never seen her
You
with that
just
hair.
showed me that picture, and it
I
took me a
fucking-
minute to realize. This
Yeah,
is the person.
but
Love
anyway,
Alex Borstein.
so there's the titty scene, and then but Alex Borstein's like fucking terrible in the movie too, because so then they play that horrible gag where she's supposed to be like the ugly girl in the scene, even though
Yeah.
she's way hotter. But
I mean, she
then
doesn't look bad at all.
So while she's holding Calvin's head, she's going, "Come on, suck it, suck it."
That's
Can
weird.
I ask
weird.
you both? Could this guy have been
That's
in the
weird.
movie?
He was in the
Could he
movie.
have been replaced?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone in this movie could have been replaced.
Lachlan
Except for John
Monroe
Witherspoon.
has been in a lot of feature films.
Yeah,
My entire
he
childhood,
plays, like,
he's
cops
been in
and
them,
stuff.
and good for him. I want to be him one day, but
So-
could have been replaced.
Sure. I mean, a lot of people could have been. Yeah. So then
Not
he
Tracy
kisses
Morgan.
her. That's
Sticks
gross.
his tongue in the mouth.
Yeah, no, that's
traumatizing.
gross. But like, but the movie has like a weirdly long series of like rape / sexual. I can't speak. What about It's More Than Wayne's?
I know, but this picture
Oh,
sucks.
Shawlands. Sure. The movie has like a long series that, and then like that's immediately followed by the. Well, first there's the bathtub scene, which is like really.
Oh my
dumb.
god!
He
it's,
wants to be in the bathtub with
his mom.
mom in quotations.
Yeah, so he tries to, and he's like, "Yeah." Let's do
I
that."
would
And
have
then-
done
and
the
then-
same
then-
thing.
And then Sean Wayne's like comes in the bath.
We
And he
ought to
starts
make our own jacuzzi bubbles.
I mean, I remember doing that with my dad. You know, like
farting
taking baths with my dad all the
and
time.
farting in the tub,
Like-
jacuzzi bubbles.
Sometimes a dad
then-
won't give a shit, and it's like, this
But then
baby
that-
pooped on me.
Yeah.
I gotta clean it.
But then that joke
Honestly, like,
is
that was the one thing I liked about this movie. Honestly, was that Sean Wayne's like felt like a really good dad throughout all of it.
I'm
He
gonna get to
tried.
that. No,
No,
I'm
every
gonna say big
way.
no with that, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
He loved being a
He
father.
loved being a dad.
He loved being a dad.
I'll get to why he's a terrible father in a minute.
I'm sure
And the,
he is.
The movie is so inconsistent.
It is.
You're drinking Steel Reserve.
So, sorry, I'm getting irritated because I
getting
really want to
irritated.
talk about this movie. Fucking so there's the tub with like he wants to basically sexually assault her again, and then the scene after that is the temperature taking scene,
the rectal thermometer.
Yeah, where they have to hold him down and that's kind of this indirect sort of sexual assault.
This is my impression.
They don't know, but he doesn't want it. It's non-consensual, and he's getting something.
Can I do an impression?
I'd also like to point out,
solid.
I have a baby thermometer at home. You can put it in their ears.
Yeah.
So that's just, they wanted to make a joke,
it was
rectal thermometer.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
I get it.
he was down to take the thermometer in the mouth. Like, they could have just done that. And Kerry Washington is the absolute when dealing with a baby in this movie. She takes Shawn Wayans and tells him, no, we have to do this every fucking time.
Stop hitting the table.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Why is she the, like, fucking resource? She's never had a fucking kid. She's never done any of this shit. She is a woman, but she has no maternal instincts.
She's a woman, and she didn't even want a kid. And honestly, that's a really gross thing that movies do all the time.
To force a kid on a woman?
It's like, you don't want a kid until you have a kid.
Like the movie Changeling with Angelina Jolie.
I haven't seen it.
He called me.
It was not her kid, but the police gave her a kid that looked like her.
Yeah, no, I've heard of that movie, and it's based on a true story.
It is. I think I know the true story.
You good?
But that's just like a gripe I have with movies.
I'll get to that later.
It's annoying.
Yeah, we're hand hugging, guys.
We are.
Me and Brandon are hand hugging.
We
all
are
the time.
Queers.
I'm pretty cool.
So aside from that, well, no, I'm done talking about that. So, but I want to mention, like, in concept, I kind of like the plot with John Witherspoon, like, being the only one who knows, like, the truth, and he's always trying to, and there's a lot of really funny, like, jokes on his behalf.
But, like, they should have gave him more.
His whole, like,
I think they should,
so you gotta throw that thing back in the Black Lagoon. Like, that was a funny
No, it was more like,
man,
you gotta throw that thing in the Black Lagoon.
Welcome to the racist part of our podcast.
No.
I'm specifically
Latino,
John Witherspoon.
and I'm not doing a joke about black people. I'm doing John Witherspoon, which is an American icon, a amazing character in everything from Friday to modern day little man.
From 2006.
From 2006.
I also love his brand.
It's my cookie and milk time.
Oh my god.
Oh, this cookie has a little bite to it.
Like, had me have a flashback to the scene where he's introduced and Kerry Washington is like, who's a good dad? I hated that scene so much.
I'm the best daddy in the whole wide world.
I hated it. Oh, thank God that was closed.
Yeah.
That's why I closed everything.
Yeah. But I kind of like... I whenever it cuts to, like, John Witherspoon and his plot of, like, trying to, like...
Prove
it was kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of funny. So...
It was weird, though.
It was weird.
It was funny.
Fucking weird.
So... Where am I in my notes? So there was that. And then... Okay, so then the Molly Shannon scene happens.
I fucking
and that was actually genuinely...
love her.
It was actually
She actually
genuinely
is funny.
funny.
She was, like,
because
driving the
she's
car
great.
with her foot. She was, like, dealing with bullshit. And, like, if you are a mom in this modern age, your kids are going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. You have to deal with a lot of shit.
I felt like it. That's a mom driving. Absolutely.
A funny scene, but
earlier today, I showed a sexual version of Molly Shannon to each of these podcasters, and I loved it. She was like thick as fuck.
She had nice lingerie.
She was thick as fuck. She had nice lingerie, and she was trying to seduce her cuck husband.
I think red and black are the best lingerie colors. A lot of people use pink, and I don't like pink.
Yeah, I don't
like pink. Black is very good.
Black, I'm all about the black.
And red. Two best colors for lingerie. Those are my statements on the matter.
But, like, while we're, like, talking about that section of the movie, I find it fucking hilarious that, like, from the parents' perspective, like, this kid had them, like, this kid, you know.
Big old dick. He had a big old dick.
Like, I thought that was really funny.
It was terrible.
It was horrible, but
it was
funny. Horribly funny.
I laughed at it because the same reason I laughed at most things in this movie. But I find it hilarious that they think Calvin, like, had the most traumatic day of his life. He got, like, kidnapped. Like, they think he, like, was about to get kidnapped by Tracy Morgan. Then they think he actually gets kidnapped the second time by, like, someone who stole the car. And they're going after him. And then
force Michael real quick.
And then after that he gets. Then after that he gets fucking beat the fuck up by a hockey player. Remember that? He's like, I'm just thinking.
Oh, he almost gets fucking killed. That is assault
and Sean Wayne
on a baby.
Did like nothing to prevent it. And,
nothing. It's fucked up.
Like how he explains that to his wife.
Totally fucked up.
How does he explain it to his? Oh, I got our kid beat up by a hockey player.
My baby got curb stomped.
So Sean Wayne's in the movie, the dad.
Yeah.
So you were saying he's a good dad. And there's moments of like heart with him for sure, but he's supposed to be kind of like the straight man of the movie. Like he's supposed to be like kind of our name, not necessarily voice of reason. Well, he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like the character we're supposed to relate to, and we're supposed to kind of, but he is. But in order to have like a straight man type character in a movie, and he's the guy we're supposed to like in the movie, and we're supposed to be on his side. But he's fucking stupid.
He's stupid.
He's fucking stupid.
In which ways?
Well, for one, the whole concept of the movie that they
Don't
buy in.
Don't say the frying pan scene.
No, I'm not saying the frying pan scene. I'm saying the entire concept of them buying into this in the first place.
I guess I was seeing his character through a different lens because I was thinking of him through the lens of the way dads are stupid,
Yeah, but okay, but when writing a character like that, if to me you have to they cannot be stupid because that immediately
Keep
makes
in
them
mind
relatable.
this,
but
Sean Wayne's was a young African American man. He had seen everything we can expect of a black upbringing in a hard white world. So he knows that if this child was not taken in by him and Kerry Washington, it may have the worst experience of its life.
Okay, so I remember the scene where he's trying to convince her.
Out of his way.
But that scene felt far more like, it's not like, oh, I want to help this kid. It felt far more like, I can use this kid so that my wife will want to have a kid. And it felt gross.
Yeah, but it was 3 days. It was actually 3 days.
Yeah.
Between child services picking up the kid.
Also, I
and
think
them getting
that's
him.
wrong. DCS doesn't just close over the weekend.
It doesn't. But if we're picking that shit apart.
Oh yeah, it's like
fuck.
I wrote that down. I was I don't think DCS just closes.
I think
it's kind of stupid.
I think Brandon and Michael both disregard the fact that I would suck Alex Borstein's fucking tits every day of my life.
I would too. No, she's hot.
I would pay her.
Alex Borstein.
I forgot to mention that earlier for the tit sucking scene.
I'm not done with the.
That's fine. Go ahead.
With the Sean Wayne's thing. So he has all these moments of being a genuinely good dad, but then out of fucking and this felt wildly out of character to me. He was gonna leave Calvin at home alone, duct taped to a chair.
Yeah,
while him and his friends the fact
that's a realistic approach for a man who says for his kid.
No, let me call my dad.
That's
and
a
see if he
joke
did that when
thing.
I was a baby.
That's a joke thing. But he didn't. He took him to a hockey game instead.
But they had already gone there was a last minute decision change. The fact that he would even consider that as an option to me is saying no, that's inconsistent.
He was going to watch him the entire time, but then he thought, well, if he's gonna already do this shit, we might as well take him to a hockey game. So they realized he needed to go and do bro time. But okay, you're a first time dad. You have no fucking clue.
None of us are first time dads.
When I watched my nephews for the first time, I started beatboxing at them. I was like, and they loved
noises.
it.
They did, yeah.
And now they hate it because they realize that is what soothed them at that age.
Right. But I don't know what that has to do with the fact that it's
we just talked about me doing a bunch of cocaine. I should not have watched kids. Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, they could watch your kids.
Maybe in real, I'm not criticizing them in real, these characters. I'm just saying, the fact it felt out of character to me that
it
he was
did.
going to
forgot that happened.
Leave his child duct taped to a chair.
Okay, let's talk about the rape.
We already talked about the rape.
Did we?
We
Wow.
did. Yeah.
Fast.
Well,
Fast.
You said
we were talking about it for a while.
If you were fucking someone, you'd want to touch them. That's when we were talking about it.
I got drunk and I took a bathroom break. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, Danny, drink more water.
I will drink more water. I'm getting old. I'm getting way older than both of you guys.
You are older.
And honestly, 26 is like the tipping point for dying alone. And I just want like a very nice young woman to like want to go on a hike.
Hike?
Yeah, you've gone.
My friends went on a hike without me, and I was like, I'm glad you didn't ask me.
Yeah,
because I would have had to turn you down.
I love hiking. I get really, really baked in a hike.
Oh, well, that makes sense, I guess.
If you have any hiking friends, tell them like, oh, I know this like douchebag. Like, maybe you like him. I think he's a fucking idiot.
So
but, like, oh my god.
So we've mentioned the fucking, like the scene where he fucking gets kidnapped. We mentioned the scene where
Don't hit the table.
he gets. We mentioned the scene where Calvin gets his ass fucking kicked at, like by the hockey player.
Almost killed.
Yeah,
a baby almost gets fucking
we already talked
killed.
about that.
He's not a baby.
That's not even all the fucking, like, this movie has so much child abuse. Like, the football scene where he's the fucking foot. And I think, again, like, a lot of these things are kind of funny in concept. Just
so this is my Marlon Wayans. Alright, you guys go and like, you take a left. I'm gonna take a right. And we're gonna get up at these motherfuckers. And it's like, it's their dad.
The dad, I kind of like the concept of the douchey, like, white, like, football dad.
I mean,
like,
yeah, there are dads like that.
Yeah, I've met.
So we're
he's an
exclusively
exaggerated
talking
version
about
of-
the actor Lachlan Monroe.
I don't know. Like,
He
I
is
just
the
see
dude.
him, and I'm just like,
Can you
ugh.
like, who's the other dad?
Who's
in
the
movie?
other good
Because
dad?
I like him.
Oh,
a
he's
lot.
great.
I
He's
see him
great.
in other
He's in a
things.
bunch
He's
of other
really
shit.
funny and
He's
great.
very funny.
His name is Fred Stoller.
Fred
Richard
Stoller.
Stoller.
I like.
I
he
love
had,
I love
Stoller.
him.
He had
He's
shit
really
going
great.
together.
He's really funny.
I'm sad
He
he's in this
didn't-
movie. He's
he
so
didn't
funny.
teach his son like toxic masculinity. He taught him how to like get shit together and like he would have gotten his son to Harvard.
Yeah, he would have.
Mm-hmm.
He would have.
And he's a great dad. And they're constantly like, and obviously he fucks. That
He's
man
like Alex
fucks.
Yeah, because there's a ton of babies.
There's a ton of babies, so
But,
that man fucks.
I would have sucked Alex Borstein's fucking tits through her goddamn hose.
I know.
She's hot.
You've told me.
We're getting very
I
repetitive now.
miss one, no.
Yeah, my dad he paused Little Man to show me this skit. It was really funny. So lots of child abuse.
Fuck you, Chocolate.
I really want to talk about because this movie has really terrible forced moments of sentimentality.
Yeah.
And like the birthday scene, like where he like starts crying when they're giving him a birthday party. He's like, I wish I had a family.
I was just staring at this.
Fucking hilarious.
No emotion. Just staring at my
Hilarious.
TV, like, what?
But yeah.
His
Do
whole
you have
shit.
something you were gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, I
I
meant
just
to say
wanna
this
mention that
earlier,
scene
but
was funny.
30 minutes in, and I know this because I checked the timestamp, I wrote 30 minutes in, feel like I've been here for 2 hours.
No, I was
It did
actually
feel like that.
I was actually fully into this
Is
movie.
that
on
the first scene where they went to the park?
Yes. It
Yeah.
felt like it's supposed to be the end of the movie.
I was actually fully.
So I was like, I'm so done.
Do a shot.
Okay.
But let's just talk about quickly. Tracy Morgan is the perfect comedy buffer for this movie.
Yeah.
Every time they need him, Tracy Morgan shows
That's
up.
actually a good transition to what I want to talk about because like this movie only has like maybe three.
Hold on, Brandon, go ahead.
This movie only has like 3 jokes that actually genuinely work for me. So when Tracy Morgan and I don't know.
He's great all throughout.
Whenever he comes and tries to like act like he's Calvin's dad, like, yeah, I'll come to pick up my son. Like, I don't know why they didn't do that fucking like a day like after they grabbed it. It seemed like they'd already been through so much like tricky, confusing things to try and get him back.
Yeah.
I'm here to pick up my son. Yeah, just let
He's
him
doing
know
an
what's
impression.
up, you know what I mean?
He's standing up to do
It's
an
not
impression.
the best Tracy
It's a
Morgan.
really bad Tracy Morgan impression.
Oranges.
Tracy Morgan.
Oranges. She had oranges up in there.
Not very good.
Not very good. Mine's no better.
I
But,
do like Tracy Morgan. He's
Tracy
genuinely a
Morgan's-
funny person.
But he makes a joke in the scene that's actually really funny, and it's like the movie's only successful attempt at like dark humor in the movie. So he comes to the house. Oh my God,
tried
Danny!
to steal my soda.
My tits. I was laughing so hard, my tits are just shaking. I got double D's if you guys want any questions.
You're forgetting what you've talked about.
I can't fuck both of you right now.
Okay. I've been trying
I
to
love
say-
Danny so much.
I do too. Danny's wonderful and very pure.
Hold on, wait. Spider ass. What? Go on.
How do you fucking do that? How do you do it again?
You fucking can't. So back to Little Man. J.K. Simmons
Was
doesn't
not
show
in
up
this
at all.
movie. Sadly. Would have made the movie more... J.K. Simmons should have been Little Man.
Maybe. Okay, where are we at?
So Tracy Morgan's joke in that scene, so whenever he was trying to get Calvin back and he's trying to pretend to be his dad, then Sean wins, like, so you're the fucker who let, like, this kid get, like, stabbed.
A tattoo,
Get stabbed, but, like, referring to, like, the knife wound, he's like, the boy needed discipline.
That was funny.
That was hilarious.
Terrible and hilarious.
It was
No,
more
no,
like
like
this.
that was genuinely one of like the successful jokes in the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this movie made a real joke.
The boy needed discipline.
You can't
No,
do
you
an
got
impression.
get heavier with it. The boy needed discipline.
The
Mine's
boy
not
needed
good
discipline.
You guys can't
Or-
do a Tracy Morgan.
I'm white and you're not black. You're
The boy
Latin
needed discipline.
somehow.
What you want to tell me about that, you know what I mean?
Anyway,
you can do it.
that was a funny joke. Okay. This movie thinks that women should stay at home and not have jobs and be mothers.
It does.
And like it's
does
so
think that.
Mark Kermode mentioned this in his review too, but like
Women can have jobs.
Women should
well, yeah,
have jobs.
the fact that we would
Better
have to say
jobs.
that
I
is
want to take a
ridiculous.
back seat to little women. I want to
Little women.
I want to take a back seat to the women in general of this world. I just want to like kind of relax.
Women I know are like far better at having lives than me and doing things.
Yeah. No, I mean, like we shouldn't
That's
even
a-
have to
that's a
say
telltale
this, like,
that
it's
you-
obvious. Like
Yeah,
You got to play more keyboard guitar.
I do. Gotta play more keyboard guitar. That will really change my
And here's
life.
beatbox. Yeah.
Okay.
okay, so the scene with the moms all sitting around, and Alex Borstein's character, she goes on about like how like she's like, you know, like whenever I first like quit my job to be a mother, like I regretted it, but then I just look at his face and I feel better, like. And it's
Some
trying
bullshit.
to be a sincere, like
My
heartwarming
mother
moment.
has a 3-year-old right now. And the worst time of her life has been in past quarantine when she couldn't work and was just stuck at home being a stay-at-home mom. She absolutely hated it. She was going crazy. She loves... My mom's a bartender. So she loves going and working and talking to people. So it's like...
puts a like medical box like, hey, do you want a light beer?
What are you talking about?
That's me birthing your mom. I'm sorry. She has the box.
Michael's mom.
Does anybody want a body shot?
My mother...
Come on.
My mother, I have heard this from reputable sources, my mother is a MILF.
Show me a picture.
She's cute.
Show me a
but,
picture.
Like, I don't know. I immediately.
But with her wearing a hat.
So Michael, I'm
She
not.
doesn't wear hats.
I'm only sexually attracted to women who wear hats.
Okay. It's good to know. I don't want you to fuck my
Back
mom.
on the hat tree.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
that shit.
Fuck it.
That
It's so
seems
dumb.
sucked.
Marlon, Sean Wayans doesn't have a job.
He doesn't.
And they don't even allude to like, oh, he wants to be a DJ. Oh, he wants to like write a book. Nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Fucking this diamond subplot. The note I wrote. The note I wrote, and I don't even know what this is. Maybe it's in reference to like he shits out the diamond and she finds. Yeah. No, it's and that the mom the wife assumes that like this ring, this massive diamond is the one on
Come from the fucking
the
bomb.
whole like the concept that he gave her a ring without a diamond like is so
fucking
dumb.
stupid.
Yeah.
And I know the movie is trying to make it seem dumb, but it's clearly there, so she thinks the diamond is for the ring. But
I work next
The
to
movie has no logic. Again,
I work next to Swarovski crystal,
Yeah.
which is just a bunch of fake bullshit jewelry.
Yep.
But like, if you had your girl that diamond that was fucking fake, it'd be better. It'd be fucking better.
Yeah, well,
Diamonds
she
are
mentioned she
bullshit.
thinks she
had
mentioned she's
all
like,
the
I know
money
it's
in the
fake.
world.
This is a real diamond. It'd be way too much money.
Also,
But
why the fuck would the Queen's Diamond be in like a fucking Macy's?
We talked about that.
It's fucking
We talked about
horseshit.
that. It is
Fucking
horseshit.
horseshit.
We talked
And I
about
get,
it.
like,
Let's
comedy-
move
Taking a
on.
piss?
What?
Was it taking a piss?
No, you were
You
here.
well,
said those words.
I'm gonna go take a piss. I'm drinking a lot of liquid.
You
This
are
is a
drinking
lot of beer right now. A lot of liquor.
and a lot of water.
Walken is incredibly inconsistent. Oh yeah, so okay, I'm at the end of the movie actually. So Walken, like earlier in the movie, like when his own guy like fucking like hands him a bag of diapers, just like, whatever, I need you alive, go. But then like this fucking random dad, he starts beating a lot. Like he's so inconsistent. And then the third act of this movie is completely tiring and like very much so the worst part of the movie. Like I love this movie, but the third act is just like, okay, this is just getting lazy. This is just dumb. I love the setup and payoff in the script of the hitting the balls with the airplane.
Oh my
I
god!
love it, like, because that scene, like
it was like a 10-minute scene of it hitting the dick.
So horrible. Yeah. It was like
airplane.
Again, I'm laughing
baseball.
so hard that like this is what they think is a funny joke. I'm laughing so hard at that concept, but the fact that that's like the through line, like the setup and payoff of the script, that's how they defeat the villain of the movie.
As we were talking about this movie,
fucking
I'm
hilarious.
staring at
Look
this
through
fucking
this.
shot of Southern Comfort. Like
It's all of the
thinking
different.
about this movie makes me want to take a shot.
I
I
can feel your
hate
level
this
of.
movie.
I feel how drunk you are by how you're moving. It's so.
The scene with the bat is the top rated scenes for like 2 pictures.
Okay.
And it just keeps going.
Okay.
They keep doing it. Like the dick shots are important to this movie.
Yeah, it's important for a lot of bad comedies.
And then, like, the last thing I kind of want to mention, like, so I do not buy whatsoever Shawn Wayne's being forgiving of Calvin.
Yeah,
at the
what
end
was
of the
that
movie.
supposed to mean?
Well, no, so this is bullshit. So this fucking, like, little man, as the movie is titled, is, like, has, like, fucking done so much wrong to this, like, poor fucking, like, guy. Like, he like, there's, like, the one scene in the hockey place where he keeps on getting him shit on. Why are you showing me that?
It's a weird scene.
He's just drunk.
It was a weird scene.
Man.
So fucking, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like it.
So, but then, like, then when, like, then when Walken comes in, like, to fight him, and then, like, Calvin is posing as a baby again, I don't buy why the fucking dad doesn't immediately out him. Like, no, that dude was fucking posing with me, like, fucking, like, instead he has his back and he plays along. And even worse, the movie ends with them becoming, like, friends at the end.
Yeah.
And,
It's really weird.
Obviously, like, you fucked my wife. That's your kid.
Yeah, you fucked my wife. You got me
cucked son of a
fucking.
bitch.
You got me fucking like beat up. You fucking. You emotionally tormented me and made me think that I had a fucking kid. Like, you are like the scum of the earth. You're the worst.
And like the thing
they're
is,
just
like
cool with
they
it. And
tried to kind of play it off that like deep down the husband felt a connection with the dude when he was pretending to be a baby. That's not how babies work. You don't like a baby when they're little and can't speak. Like, you think they're cute, but they're annoying. The moment they have personalities, then they're fun. Then you can, like, actually like them beyond them just being like, this is my kid, stop doing that.
Danny,
I put the cap back on. I'm joking.
I know.
I'm making jokes.
It's like, when a kid's like a little baby, it's like they do nothing. Sure, they're cute to look at, but they do nothing.
Right.
And then, when they grow up a little bit, then they have personalities. And then you can actually like them beyond them. Like,
No, they're pieces of shit.
That's an opinion.
Children are pieces of shit all the time.
I like kids.
I have my nephews. My nephews are great. I love them. But other people's kids, pieces of shit.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the entire, like, emotional end doesn't work. Because that guy would not like the dude pretending to be his kid, even on, like, the, like, I bonded with you when you were a kid thing, because you don't. When they're little, you don't. They just exist. And then they start doing things and having personalities. Then it's fun.
In defense of the movie Little Man.
No.
Like, it's set up like he didn't have his own father, so he was kind of like, he's adding a lot of that onto, like, this is his way of, like, sort of trying to deal with, like, that sad aspect of his life.
He's a 40-year-old man.
Okay, so my dad actually helped me discover something very interesting that I would say is definitely related to this movie.
I'm scared.
So, you know how the entire time we were both talking about like the gaps in logic and about how like no one would ever buy that this was like an actual child?
Yeah?
What if I told you that this story really happened in real life?
It didn't happen.
Okay.
Yes, it did.
So this is
Like
based off of,
I'm not fucking with
this
you.
is based off a Bugs Bunny cartoon
Okay,
from the 50s,
well, yes,
so you go ahead.
Okay, Little Man's based on that, and this real life story didn't happen until after Little Man. But this is a true story, and I have...
Little Man inspired something?
yeah, well, let me, I have the news article open.
Oh,
So,
no, okay. Yeah, this is the basis of Orphan.
She was, from what I can tell, she was like, she was a little person that like went in disguise as an orphan child in the Ukraine, and then she ended up like threatening to kill like the people who adopted her, and then they ended up buying her an apartment because she was like threatening them and stuff like that. But so this shit's fucking real. I just want to say, Little Man's like. This happens in real life, apparently.
This could also be the basis of Chucky, too. It's like, she was a doll.
Oh, that was another thing I forgot to mention. So there's a line in Little Man where John Witherspoon, like, he...
like Chucky!
Yeah, for a second I thought you were Chucky. But the 9-year-old actor who was the body double for Little Man, he went on to actually play Chucky in one of the direct-to-video Chucky movies.
Was it Seed of Chucky?
No, it was a direct-to-video one. It was like The Curse of Chucky or something.
Oh, yeah, that's not the cult.
Okay, so I'm reading this and it says that they thought she was between 6 and 8. They thought Little Man was a infant baby.
Okay, but still...
But it's fucking insane.
Isn't it like... So, like, we have no right to talk about this movie not making any sense.
It still doesn't make any
clearly
sense.
It happened in real life.
No.
So this movie was the basis of also Orphan. That's where it kind of came into a newer life.
The movie Orphan?
Yeah, the movie Orphan, where they adopt a young woman who is from an Eastern European country, and then she tries to seduce the dad.
Gross.
And keep in mind, she's like 29. She like immediately tries to kill the mom, almost tries to kill one of the little kids, and it's just like, it's fucking savage.
It is.
I don't know how they wrote it.
I've never seen it. Maybe
I don't think I've ever
that would be a very
she gets
fun
the
movie
dad
to talk
drunk,
about on the podcast.
And like, the dad's not going to get drunk and forget that you're a little girl.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a good dad. You know? Fucking creep.
Creep.
Fucking creep.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that there's a real life
What the
story.
fuck? Okay.
Fucking insane. Thank you, Dad, for bringing that to my attention. So what are your guys' final thoughts
on this movie?
On Little Man? Yeah.
Michael, you want to go first?
This movie is offensive to my eyes.
Oh, everybody. It's so offensive to everybody.
Everyone. It's
terrible.
terrible.
A bad movie. It's a movie
one of
that looked fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it looked like a Tim and Eric sketch, like the Kitty Cat Man trailer that they made on Tim and Eric. Do you know what I'm talking about, Danny?
Partly
with Michael Cera, where like it was basically like a fake movie trailer that like just looked for like this fucking ridiculous movie where Michael Cera.
Yeah, that's what people also say about like Jack and Jill when the
Jack and Jill
seemed so fucking phony.
It's bad.
And we got Al Pacino
doing the Dunkachino.
That's when his career went downhill. But back to Little Man.
I don't know. So obviously this is one of the worst movies like of all time.
Oh, this is terrible.
It does not change the fact that I am deeply fascinated by it, and that I was laughing constantly throughout the entire course of the movie. Like, not much with it, mostly at the fact that they thought they were telling jokes. Okay, I give Little Man a 2 out of 10.
Oh,
that seems high.
That does seem high.
Really? Well, no, because for one, there's no such thing as a 0 out of 10. It's between 1 and 10. 1 to me would suggest that there is 0 like redeeming qualities about the movie, like at all. That there's nothing genuinely decent, like at all.
Okay.
But there were like 2 or 3 jokes that I actually thought were kind of funny.
There was like one scene with that lady you kept showing me lingerie of that was
Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon
Was really funny. But yeah, 2 out of 10. John Witherspoon was good in it too.
I guess I'm gonna have to agree. Like, I can't give it a 1 out of 10 because there are like
people did try. There was a lot.
There were
of
some
talent.
people who were trying.
They
so
were
I
making a
gotta
movie
give
that
it
they
a 1 out
wanted
of
to
10.
make. It didn't. The movie actually didn't like plot wise. Yes, it was extremely lazy, but it felt like they were making something for them that they thought was funny, and it just wasn't.
So 2 out of 10 for me.
I'm gonna be difficult, and I'm gonna go 1.8. Here's why, because like, yeah, I know 1 is a complete 0, but like, even with all of the talent, all the names in this, and a lot of weird B movie characters you don't see that often anymore, like the
like
douchey husband.
Oh, that I hate.
Husband.
I
Yeah,
hate him so much.
They didn't do anything with it. They didn't do shit. Like, John Witherspoon's a fucking talent, and you had him just like eating cookies and reacting. No, he's a fucking tour de force. Mm-hmm. Let him be in it more.
And you know, like I just rewatched the movie Friday recently, which is a great comedy.
Oh my god, that one's deep.
Yeah, well, that one speech that John Witherspoon gives to
forget your ass beat, and you live to fight another day.
Yeah, no, that shit's fucking good. And that's a dumb comedy, but that was a genuinely good scene.
No, that's a Getting Out of the Hood movie. It transcends comedy. It's a Getting Out of the Hood movie.
It's still pretty goofy, but yeah.
Boys in the Hood, American Me, all that shit.
Friday.
Next
Friday. Friday after next. But yeah, Little Man, we both give it a 2 out of 10. You give it a 1.8.
1.8.
I say watch it drunk. If you're gonna watch Little Man,
watch it.
No, I think it's actually something. It's it's so absurd that you might as well see it at least once.
Watch it high, because honestly, I watched it drunk the first time. I immediately fell asleep right away.
Maybe you should watch it drunk so you fall asleep and don't have to watch the movie.
I was thinking we have this interesting dynamic where you don't drink, you don't smoke pot. I do both.
Yeah, Michael doesn't drink. I don't smoke pot. Yeah, and Nanny does both. I had to clarify because you were just pointing at us.
I also don't smoke.
Yeah, Michael doesn't do any of it.
Sobriety, weed, alcohol. I'm also pointing at each other, so
yeah, we're pointing.
Visual podcast. If you haven't figured out
it's
how
like
to
this looks like that spider.
You're not the FBI.
This podcast is the audio version of that Spider-Man meme of them pointing at each other.
More visual jokes. Flat out, yeah.
I don't know.
Watch it baked.
Yeah, well, as someone who doesn't smoke weed, I say watch it drunk. But
as someone who doesn't do either, watch it baked.
Yeah.
Well, you've never even been high, Michael.
Yeah. But this movie sucks, so
You've
whatever you
seen
need
how
to do to get through
movies make pot look. It's usually like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I love Little Man. Best movie of all time.
Yeah, I hate you so much.
So John Witherspoon, you're better than this. And Kerry Washington, so are you.
Kerry Washington.
We got into this. Yeah, we got into this. She was the lead in, the romantic lead in Django.
Yeah. Yeah, no, clearly she
Talk
has
about
acting
fucking
abilities.
range. You gotta dig
Tracy
yourself
Morgan,
in.
you can do better than this.
But, so anyway, I kind of wanted to start doing the segment where, because we don't really have much to plug, because we're nobody, you know. As last week's movie.
Hire me for acting. Fuck.
But instead of doing plugs, I just kind of want to take a moment to talk about whatever media we've consumed in the past week or so, just movies, games, music.
Here's my update.
Shows,
I'm on One Piece, around 3:30, episode 3:30, and I just got to the point where they're about to get to the New World. So
I'm firmly anti One Piece.
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes of it. It doesn't seem bad. I love the art style. But it's a shonen that has 1,000 episodes. So
it's time consuming.
Yeah.
My boyfriend has a One Piece flag on his wall. I'm
and
anti
a tattoo
One
on his
Piece.
butt.
He doesn't have a tattoo
on his butt.
He doesn't have anything on his butt.
You look between the cheeks.
Yeah, Michael. Even I knew that whenever I fucked your boyfriend.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
And I've seen him on a video
you
call.
Don't like his third nipple. Yeah.
Seen him on a video call.
Yeah.
Handsome young man. Yeah. Right? Handsome. It's roguishly, and roguishly is the right word, because that's probably his D&D character. A rogue.
No, he doesn't play a rogue.
He looks like a dirty twink.
A Charles Manson.
Yes.
Wow.
He looks like a young Charles Manson.
He's growing his hair out super long,
no,
so I can see it.
He looks like a young Roman Polanski.
Here's another piece of media. If you
he does look like
If you
Roman
haven't
Polanski.
listened to Charles Manson's music, honestly, give it a listen to.
Some of it's good.
He could have been good, but he did all the weird hippie shit and he got tied up into it. Just rent a cabin away from your friends and do all your work. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Rent a cabin, cannibalize a few people, no one will find out.
He never cannibalized anybody. He was just eating pussy all the time. VD pussy. Oh yeah, it's already wet. It's got the drip.
Is that John Witherspoon as Charles Manson?
Yes.
I would love to see that. It's
Hey,
sad he's
now
dead.
you listen here, baby. We gonna get these dune buggies out in the rural areas. Yeah, we're gonna build some dune buggies.
Okay, you talked about One Piece, and then whatever the fuck that the last couple minutes of conversation were.
What
have
am
you
I
been watching or listening to or masturbating to?
I don't know. I've been rewatching shows, so I guess I'll plug Hannibal. It's like my favorite show.
Yeah, I saw the first
rewatching
episode.
it. It's so good, and
I
Will
love Mads
Graham,
Mikkelsen. I love Lawrence Fishburne.
sexy sweaty man.
Yeah, no, it seems like a good
It's
show.
a great show.
I love Lawrence
honestly.
Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne is fucking amazing in this.
Especially
Holy
in Batman v Superman: Dawn
I'll
of
kill
Justice.
you. I'll kill you. I
Especially
can't
that.
believe they slandered his name by putting him in that goddamn movie.
I'm back here now because the crossbreeze is amazing.
Yeah, we have
Right
the
up your
door
ass?
open.
Waggling my butt.
I wish I could see up close.
Take that,
and personal.
America.
But yeah, so what the fuck have I been watching lately? I also rewatch a bunch of things. I don't know. We just watched Mortal Kombat. We're gonna talk about it on the next episode. No, fuck. What? I've been. I recently got cable, so I've been watching a lot of.
Unfortunately.
Well, I'm in a position in life where I have a little bit of extra money. So
Ooh,
I was
a
just kinda
rich
like-
bitch.
A rich bitch.
I'm just trying to keep the
Absolutely.
wolves from the door, and you know what? They don't like leftovers.
Oh wait, what doesn't like left?
I don't know. I was trying to do a metaphor. Wolf
Yeah.
for the door, left that food. I don't know how do people keep wolves from doors?
They're not by giving them food.
That will bring the wolf to the But yeah, I've been watching a lot of Adult Swim shows, like, Aqua Teen, Boondocks, stuff like that. Also
I
with
need to
John
watch
Witherspoon. I fucking love the Boondocks.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. It's fucking hilarious.
I've seen clips from it, and I know it's fucking
No, I just-
hilarious. I just never watched it.
Oh, cool.
So to wrap it up, I love you. I love every one of you. All our 70 subscribers. I love
Call
you.
the cops.